Tonight on RaceSpotTV and iRacingLive, NTAS stays west to sunny California. It's round 13 of 16, and the road to the chase continues at Auto Club Speedway. This is the 2017 NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series powered by iRacing, and we go racing from Fontana next.
The NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series powered by iRacing is the premier NASCAR eSports series featuring the cars and tracks from the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. The 2016 campaign saw a return to the top of the mountain by Ray Alfalla as a three-time NASCAR World Champion. The march to that championship was not easy, though, despite the fact that Ray Alfalla took home the most points in series history. It just also happened to be the tightest championship fight we had ever seen. These guys are set for the 2017 campaign, and as it has been for the 7 years prior, it is no longer going to be a straight shot to the championship. We are going to see the biggest change in this championship picture in series history, as for the first time ever, there will be a chase for the championship. We're going to go into the Homestead Miami Speedway at the end of the season with the four best oval sim racing drivers in the world absolutely tied in the championship. You just got to beat the other three guys out and you will become an official NASCAR champion. You're going to get yourself a NASCAR championship ring and, of course, $10,000. These are the iRacing eSport World Championships, the pinnacle of sim racing competition. You can catch it all season long, live coverage on iRacing.com/live.
The road to $10,000 goes through Southern California, where tonight we are happy to say good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to Auto Club Speedway for the Auto Club 250. Race number 3 on this 2017 NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, powered by iRacing. Happy to be with you tonight from high atop the Speedway. Myself, Andy Kessler, joined by Cam Walsh, Tim Terry, and as always, shown tonight with our partners at Fans Choice TV and the Motor Racing Network. Our lovely and talented producer, Hugo Louise, downstairs, bringing us to you tonight on Facebook Live as well. Cam, this is race number 3 of this 2017 season, and we saw a pretty dominating performance after we got off the restrictor plate races last week from none other than Ryan Luza, picking up his first career victory. And at the same time, you look at the grid, he's starting first here tonight. Does anything have anything for that guy here tonight?
Well, hello everybody. He seems to be having an absolutely fantastic start to the season. He's been competitive in just about every single race that we've been to. Of course, we did have the pre-season Daytona run as well to remember as well, where he did extraordinarily well. So yeah, we'll see how he does here on the 2-miler, but he's already off to a great start. I mean, obviously, when you're starting from the first, that's a fantastic thing. It's an interesting track, though, this Auto Club Speedway. They seem to be spinning quite a bit in practice off of corner number 4, so I'll definitely keep my eyes on that one.
That's definitely an interesting racetrack nonetheless. A big 2-mile speedway, Tim. Banking in the corners, though, just very small, to say the least. 14 degrees, 11 degrees on the front straightaway, and that back straightaway awfully flat, just 3 degrees of banking. Very wide racetrack, lots of grooves to try to play around to make some passes, but nonetheless, it's still the bottom lane's typically the fast lane around this place.
It is a wide racetrack, a very fast racetrack, and lends itself to a lot of green flag competition. So this is going to be an exciting race to see how it unfolds. Last race in this rules package, and you mentioned the first-time winner last week in Ryan Luza. You also have a first-time winner in Derek Bordeaux when we went to Daytona. So could this be the race that we get a third first-time winner in this series? Or will we see a guy like a Ray Alfalla come back and win a race? He won this event last year. This used to be his Achilles heel. Didn't like this racetrack, but Ray Alfalla, he might be one to watch here. Kenny Humpy, Nick Ottinger, former winners here too. A who's who of sim racing talents.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and we're talking about this racetrack, third race in a row for these guys. Tim just mentioned also, Cam, the fact that this is the last one for this build. We're getting new setups for these guys, a new downforce package for these Cup cars. They do get a week off in between this race in Texas. It's going to be, I'll tell you what, the sim's going to be awfully used a lot by these guys to get prepared for that and to try to figure out these setups for this for the new build.
Well, absolutely, but not only that, they're going to be tempted to take their automobiles of choice off the roads and get on the dirt tracks that we're going to be releasing tomorrow as well. So it's going to be a bit difficult juggling between, the enjoyment of dirt racing that everyone's just so excited for, and well, the responsibility and, quite frankly, the fun that it's going to be in this lower downforce 2017 NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series package that is going to, continue pushing us forward. Absolutely brand new modern iRacing cars and that brand new Toyota Camry to boot.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's going to be a lot of fun to keep an eye on what's going to happen in a couple weeks' time. Of course, these guys are the professionals. I'm sure with those 2 weeks' time, they got plenty of time for those guys to figure something out, but they're going to be awfully busy trying to get this one sorted out. Tonight, though, 125 laps, 250 miles for these drivers here at Auto Club Speedway. A very grueling race, one that can see a lot of green flag racing as well, too, Tim, when we come to this place, because of its very wide open spaces. And you typically, maybe a one-car spin, maybe a guy pushing up, coming off a 2 or 4 into another guy outside. But overall, this can lend for a lot of green flag racing and a lot of opportunities that guys might have some problems on pit road as well.
Yeah, and that's what it's going to come down to. Green flag pit stops. I'm sure we're going to see at least one round of green flag pit stops here this evening, and that could be the difference in between winning and losing this event. There's a lot that can happen around this racetrack, and as you mentioned, one small little mistake could turn into a mistake for many drivers here this evening. Keep an eye on those small little mishaps. Get those guys a little bit sideways, and it could very well be a multi-car incident instead of just one.
It absolutely can. And we talk about pit road. Pit road is what won the race last week for Ryan Luza. Cam, his green flag pit stops were just spot on. We saw him the first round. I almost didn't even make it onto pit road there. Almost slid through the cone, almost got himself a penalty. Nonetheless, they were spot on. They were perfect. That's where he really made up all his ground on the rest of the field last week and was able to come out with a convincing win.
Yeah, that massive tail slide on the first entry, but after that, he had a great pit entry as far as going into and out of the boxes. That is very important, especially on a track like Las Vegas. So hopefully he can continue that going. He's going to have the first pit stall this time, and hopefully he's going to be enjoying and using that to his benefit, as he's not really going to have much of a worry about pit limiters off it. You can just light him up and get across the pit finishing lane, and then he'll get back onto the racing surface. So that first spot, hopefully that'll help him stay up front. I'm a bit concerned maybe about cautions, especially coming off of 4, but you know what? I wouldn't surprise me, simply because not only are you going to have to try to enter pit lane at some point, but we're already having cars that are getting loose.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of guys here during the practice right now that's just about closed up here, making runs and making efforts to get on pit road at speed to try to see exactly what they can do and how much they can give up and what it's going to take to get onto pit road safely. So we'll see exactly what happens with that. But with that said, practice is over. It's that time to get this thing underway here tonight. Let's take a look trackside now for the RaceSpotTV starting lineup. And on the pole, as we had mentioned, Ryan Luza with a fast time of a 37.336. That's good enough to take the top spot here tonight. Mitchell Hunt, a great qualifying effort for that driver in the number 71. He'll start to the outside of the front row. While Corey Vincent, he'll start third. Fourth, that's going to go to the 83 of Bobby Zielinski. Zach Novak will start in the 5th spot. 6th goes to the 39 of Michael J. Johnson. Row number 4 to the inside is going to be Ray Alfalla with Logan Clampett to his outside, while Christian Schallender and Kyle Putz make up your top 10 here tonight.
Going from 11th on back to 20th, Michael Conti starts inside row. His outside is PJ Sturgis. Dylan Duvall and Ryan Lowe starting in 12th and 13th. Jake Sturgis starting in 15th. Nolan Scott starting in 16th. Derek Bordeaux starting in 17th, looking to have a good day for himself. And then Joe Latarillo, and then Jake Nichols and Nicholas Johnson rounding up your top 20.
Will Cooley will start from position number 21. 22nd is Andrew Fayash III. Mid-pack start for former winner Kenny Humpy in the 58. Alex Bergeron starts 24th. 25th is Marcus Richardson. Philip Diaz 26th. Alan Bowes in 27th. 28th is Chris Overland. Watch for him to come to the front of the field. Blake Reynolds and Brandon Schmidt complete your top 30.
Nick Ottinger and Adam Gilliland will make up row number 16. 33rd starters, Chris Sherburne, Brian Schoenberg. With problems last week, will start 34th. 35th goes to Timmy Hill. 36th to Brian Blackford. Jimmy Mullis will start 37th. 38th on the grid here tonight will be David Rattler. Josh Berry starts 40th, or 39th. 40th goes to Casey Tucker, and then Byron Daly, Cody Bias, and Brad Davies round out this 43 car field here tonight. So on the front row there, Ryan Luza, Cam, he's got a good spot to be in here to start this race. The question here, though, you got to conserve your tires over the long run as well.
Absolutely. And it almost sounds like he's holding the clutch in and he's laying down on the throttle. Not quite sure why he would want to do something like that, but you know what? He's going to enjoy that. He's starting off front with that 71 car. Long gone now, the bright yellow paint scheme of those black dots that we enjoyed so dang much. And now they're going to be approaching the final corner and get this race underway.
The pace car is going to look to the safety of pit road for the first time. No hesitation out of the one. Ryan Luza will take the green flag, and we're underway at Auto Club.
Already a good start from Ryan Michael Luza. He drifts all the way up to the outside, and we'll see, does he cut down on the inside? Yes, he's trying to use that space that he has to his advantage. Now, everyone is already feathering the throttle, and this is on brand spanking new Goodyear Eagles. Could only imagine what's going to happen once these tires start wearing in. Zach Novak and Michael J. Johnson laying on the inside as they head towards corner number 3 for the first time today.
Good battle going up for the front there. How about a good run off turn 2, and it's carried over to 3 and 4. Corey Vincent now trying to shake down the leader of Ryan Luza as they exit turn number 4. 1 car length separating those 2 drivers as they start to pull away from third. It's 5 back to the 15 of Novak.
Yeah, it's easy pickings for Luza and Vincent as the cars for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th are all in a tight group. 2 of them are side by side, and then you've got Zach Novak. He's drifting very high, very low, very high. That's his corner choice. Ray Alfala digging well to the inside, going down the backstretch. I have a feeling we are going to see that quite often today as the race goes on. They can use that backstretch, really maneuver your car around, as just looks like right now it's Logan Clement and Ray Alfala. They are constantly switching lanes, and Mitchell Hunt, he is falling back relatively steadily. It's only been 3 laps and he's already back almost out of the top 10.
Some 3 wide action just fanned out right there, just entering into turn number 1. Nicholas Johnson Michael Johnson, I should say, on the top side, making it work here. But Logan Clampet's thinking better of it. 2 wide. They go now 2 rows deep. Down the back straightaway, Logan Clampett looking for another spot as he's already gained 2, looking for more now back into turn 3.
Now it's 1, 2, 3. Zach Novak making very quick work of it. Interesting note, it's Ford Fusion leading Chevrolet SS, leading Toyota Camry, year 1, 2, 3. So all 3 manufacturers are sitting up there. That new Toyota will be coming shortly tomorrow. So this is going to be the last run of the bird here. But either way, it's pretty interesting to watch how Michael Conti and some of the other seasoned vets are trying to make their way through this field. They really dig down on the backstretch and even dipping beneath that white line going past the start-finish line. As people, I think there's a lot of speed out there right now, as I think I just saw a bit of bumper contact between Kyle Putz and Bobby Zelensky. Everything's okay between the 2, but still, I think right now there's a lot of speed out there. You just got to go out and get it.
Yeah, the draft will come into play quite a bit, actually, on these straightaways. It isn't a super speedway, but utilizing that draft can visually give you help coming down the straightaways and actually keep you in contact with those cars in front of you. Up front, though, the lead, for a moment there, only we're talking 2 cars. But how about that 15 of Zach Novak? He's really closed the distance over the last couple of laps.
Yeah, started 5th up to 3rd. Already maybe a couple of movers and shakers. Not really too much, actually. The field is relatively stagnant, 30 on back. You got a couple of guys. I think it's mostly been one or two people have been sliding back. Perhaps they're just trying to get a little safe, letting the tires sort of wear in, letting the rubber buildup start coming in. The track does have moderate usage as far as the default track that they're going to be racing on today. They're going to work that very quickly and be laying down rubber lap by lap by lap as they're still running too wide. At the very least, back towards 10th position, a group between Dylan Duval, PJ Sturgis, and Kristen Challoner as they work their way, try to get around Mitchell Hunt.
Yeah, watching that battle right now on the track through 3 and 4 right now. Only side-by-side battle we got from the front on back right now as those drivers, as Mitchell Hunt able to clear the 42 of Dylan Duval that time. He'll get that spot at the line. Now the 57 of PJ Sturgis trying to make his moves up to the front. We saw him last week have a great race car, very fast. But the problem was he started way in the back, and it took him forever to get up to that top 5 before that thing was over. A better qualifying effort this week gives him, I think, a better opportunity with these long green flag runs to maybe give a showing there, maybe get up there and try to battle for the lead before this one's over.
Yeah, the Ford of Bobby Zelensky, the 83 car, going on the inside of Ray Alfala. Ray will give the position easily and slot into the inside. Will he have the counter? He'll have the speed to counter, but will he try doing it across the start-finish straight? Definitely not a straight at all, but I would hardly consider it a tri-oval. It's just more like a long bend. So Ray will slot in right behind Bobby Zelensky. As we are already running lap number 8, you got quite a bit of movement between Christian Challier and Dylan Duval. Derek Bordeaux just saying hello in the middle of the 2. That's a bit of a frightening exit for them all, but they managed to make it work.
Yeah, that was awfully close right there. Some bumper contact. Looked like a little checkup from the 71, caused the 78 to check up, and then now the 04 had to check up a Derek Bordeaux, winner at Daytona just a couple of weeks ago, and now he tries to settle things back down as we continue a side-by-side battle off of turn number 4, and that's the 41 now, giving a shake Jake Sturgis now, trying to get around that 71 of Mitchell Hunt, and Mitchell Hunt, after starting up towards the front, started P2 in this one, Tim, and now he's finding himself now way back to the clutches of 15th.
Yeah, falling back a little bit here in the early stages of this one. We got one on the apron down the back straightaway. 39 back up into the racetrack, and that will be the first caution flag of the evening.
Looks like Michael J. Johnson, the first one off of turn number 2 there. Not sure if he had help. We'll get the replay up on your screen there, but trouble right now. Lap number 9 here, opening stint of this one. And it comes off of turn number 2, the 39 of Michael Johnson. It looks like all by himself, a self-spin, tried to gather it in. Get back up the racetrack, and that's the scary part for everybody, but man, what a great job by the field getting around him right there. Locks him up, everybody able to skate around, and it doesn't look like any damage at all as you see that replay up on your screen. So Michael Johnson going to be able to continue this one just now from the back of the field.
Absolutely fantastic reaction from pretty much everybody there. I don't really think anybody tried to go around the parked car of Michael J. Johnson on the outside, minus Philip Diaz. I believe he scraped the wall just a hair. I saw some sparks kicking off of it. And actually, I lied, Brad Davies and Cody Bias also followed up to the top. Michael J. Johnson, it was a fairly good save. He hustled the car up to keep it off the inside wall. It was surely going to go into it if he didn't counter, but once he countered with how this backstretch goes, once you start going across it, there is not much there to push you back, so you just had to let the drag go out, and he did an extraordinary job as we go back to live pictures of keeping, well, everyone else did an extraordinary job of keeping their way out of that spinning car. That is what you want to see.
Pit road going to be a busy place, just 10 laps into it, but I don't expect any crazy changes here on this one as far as a 2-tire stop or anything. Tires are very precious commodity here, Tim, at Auto Club Speedway. So all your leaders heading down pit road now, all led the way now by Ryan Luza.
Yeah, you might throw a little adjustment at the race car after the first 10 laps trying to feel the thing out on the first short little run. But as you mentioned, I don't expect anything different here either. 4 tires, fill it up with fuel, and get back on the racetrack, because we could see that green flag run come up, and we could see that full fuel run try to come into play here as Luza takes 4. It looks like there's one car that may have missed his box back there, way out ahead of the rest of the field, and it's a drag race off pit road between Novak and looks like Corey Vincent, the 10.
That was a drag race, if you ever saw one, coming off of pit road right there. And even though I had that first pit stall, a slow stop by Ryan Luza is going to cost him the top spot here. So it looks like the 4-car, Timmy Hill, missed his pit box, or might have just drove through to begin with just to maybe get a lap lead here. But other than that, it looks like Zach Novak, a big race off of pit road, and he had a fast race car. He was able to keep up with Corey Vincent and Ryan Luz on that first run, so it's going to be an interesting restart here.
Certainly is, as it is not going to be Ryan Michael Luza starting this one. It is, unless Timmy Hill does end up coming down pit lane, which I'm sure he will. If you were just going to stay out, you would just, well, stay out. Unless he was just trying to trick people to follow him in and then just driving through. So for Ryan Michael Luza, it's going to have, he's going to be starting in for now, the 4th position, but it'll be 3rd if Timmy does go and get his pit service. Zach Novak will be starting on your inside and Corey Vincent on the outside. It'd be interesting to see what happens now. We haven't really had much exposure with different leaders taking restarts. I think we probably have only had it 2 or 3 times. The leader, the more dominant leader that always seems to come away with it is typically the one that's starting the restarts. So hopefully we'll see a new strategy. Perhaps they'll hold him a little bit longer than Luza. We'll have to find out. Other notes: Josh Berry had some trouble at some point during the race. It looks like he's got left front damage on his race car. He is 6 laps down, so whatever it was a solo incident.
So we work our way through our first caution of the night. Came out on lap number 9. Should get the one to go this next time by here for these drivers. We can get double stacked up and get back to going at this one. Bobby Zielinski, a great pit stop as well. He was able to beat out Ray Alfalla, Logan Clampett, and those guys. He'll come out in that, right now showing the 5th spot, could be the 4th if Timmy Hill does come down pit road. So a good pit stop for the 83 machine. A little struggle there on the pit road for Ray Alfalla. Maybe a couple extra changes for that driver, not liking what he had at first. He lost that spot, a couple spots actually, during that run there. 2 guys like Logan Clampett who had a pretty fast race car as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that too. And PJ Sturgis right there from starting 12th. He's starting inside the top 10 here in this restart, Tim. It's a good place. It's where he wants to be after last week having to work his way all the way through those green flag runs. He had to drive his way to the front of the field. This time he was able to get a good qualifying effort here tonight. It's exactly what he needed. He talked about that last week after the race, about wanting to get a better qualifying effort and to get up towards the front to start these things instead of having to drive through the back.
And he can see the pace car from where he is right now, so that's a very good sign for Sturgis. And we'll see these guys go back to green here momentarily with Zach Novak and Corey Vincent. Ryan Luza, first time in traffic here this evening in position number 3. And when you look back through the field, you have some of those guys like Ray Alfalla, the Sturgis brothers, Mitchell Hunt running around the top 10. You have Dylan Duval just outside the top 10 in position number 12. Watch for those guys to try to push their way towards the front of the field and see what they have here. They had a little shakedown session, per se, in the first 10 laps to see what their cars had an opportunity to come down pit road, maybe make an adjustment or two, and now it's time to get some laps in on this Auto Club Speedway as Zach Novak and Corey Vincent getting ready in the next half lap to lead them back to green.
And he's doing just that, getting ready to get these guys back to the green flag. Zach Novak, a fantastic pit stop. He's going to get him out on the front spot. Timmy Hill in that 4-car did come down to pit road on the one to go. He'll get tires. He'll start from the back of the field on this one. Still 42 cars on the lead lap. Josh Berry, the only one in the 88, finds himself 7 laps down with problems in the 88 machine here tonight. So not a good start for him tonight at Auto Club. The field all double filed, getting set to get back underway. We're going to have a good start, I think, on this one. Zach Novak, Corey Vincent on the front row, and then you got Ryan Luz, the pole sitter, starting on the inside of row number 2. The field makes its way now off of turn number 4. And we get set to get back underway here in California. Pace car going to duck down to pit road, and Novak going to stack them up just a little bit. Gives it a little bit of gas. He'll clear the top spot now. It'll be a side-by-side battle at the line here from the 10 and the 1 of Ryan Luz now on the inside.
Once he saw people committing to that stutter, he absolutely blitzed away. Zach Novak having a very, very good start as Luza is now going to have to deal with Vincent. If he clears him, which it almost looks like he's going to, he does. He pushes the subject. That allows Corey Vincent to line up to the inside and get pushed possibly by Logan Clampett, the 44, who's currently running in 5th position as he looks to the inside. Now Luza will have that position secure, so it's going to be Novak, Luza, Vincent as they come out of 3.
Now Kyle Putt stuck on the outside. That's going to give a spot to the 2 of Ray Alfalla. Here comes the 44, Clampett. He'll do the crossover move off turn number 4. He'll get to the inside of Corey Vincent now before they head back to turn number 1.
Yeah, slight little move by Vincent there to go to the inside, but Logan Clampett was committed to that inside line. They'll go side by side off corner number 2. Give the spot to Clampett for the time being. The 10 will get the run off of the corner. They'll still be side by side for position number 3 as Zielinski looks on from behind, as does Ray Alfalla. Beautiful battle for position number 3. Clampett drives it in deep to corner number 3, and Vincent going to slam the door on Zielinski behind. They'll come up at a corner number 4. 15 laps completed, and now Clampett looks at Luza for position number 2.
A good gap now separating the top 2 here, 3-4 car lengths as they head back into turn number 1. A side-by-side battle, though, going on for that 5th spot. Here comes Ray Alfalla now to the inside of Bobby Zielinski. He's got the advantage on the inside, but the advantage of the power on the outside there, and the 83 of Bobby Zielinski will stay side by side for the time being. You got Kyle Putz now and PJ Sturgis looking on from behind, trying to figure out which lane's going to go as the bottom side. Looks like it's going to prevail. Alfalla gets the top 5 spot now off turn 4.
A troop of Fords here. It's Alfalla, Zielinski, Putz, and Sturgis all in Fords, and they are working their way through. PJ Sturgis, he is trying heavily to find an area to get on past the car that was sitting in front of him, Kyle Putz. He tried low, high, low, all on the backstretch before shifting high, coming into corner number 3, so that scrubbed off some speed from and allowed Ryan Lowe to make an attempt. But PJ Sturgis, well, it's no surprise. He sees Ray Alfalla 1 car ahead. He wants to get up there, wants to get ahead of him for sure. A couple of 2-wide actions going on. Dylan Duvall, Michael Conti, Mitchell Hunt, Christian Chalmers, and Nolan Scott fighting back around the top 10 positions.
Yeah, Michael Conti trying to do what he can. Started 11th, currently in that 13th spot now as they run side by side with Dylan Duvall, as you mentioned. Heading back into turn number 1, the advantage though to the 42 of Dylan Duvall. Conti has a really good car on the outside. We saw him in that first run using that outside lane as well. And now he'll pull the advantage off of turn number 2. Looks like slip up right in front of him. The 7 machine of Ryan Lowe, a little loose. It's going to cost some 3-wide action now as we see the 04 Derek Bordeaux dive to the inside.
And Bordeaux's going to pick up a spot by the looks of it. Conti still remains on that outside line, trying to make up a little bit of time. Sturgis in the 41, the 7 of Lowe, still holding his own on the inside line. Was only losing 2 spots on that one, at least for this point. Dylan Duvall continues to work the inside of Mitchell Hunt. What a fantastic battle here. And they continue to be side by side behind them as the 78 works that inside line as well. So there's a lot of racing going on here in the middle of the pack. The top few have found their way single file. It's Novak being chased down by Ryan Luza, and Luza is there within a car length.
Yeah, great battle up front as these guys are going there. Luza now looks to the inside of Novak as they work their way off of turn number 4. The battle for the lead now shaping up. Here's Luza. Drops down, not quite all the way. He'll keep that 15 car up to the top. Give Novak another lap led, but the advantage soon to be Ryan Luza's as they head back to turn 1.
And it's easy done when he lets off the brake first, allows his car to roll into that deeper inside groove, which seems to be working much better on these brand spanking new Goodyear Eagles. But Zach Novak riding that outside is going to get the overshot. What's he going to do with it? Well, he's going to use it by applying that force to the rear bumper of Ryan Michaeluza, bumping him up to speed almost 200 miles an hour. Very well might have hit 200 right before they got on binders and started going into 3 and 4. It looks like Logan Clampett, well, it's no surprise that he's being aggressive here. He was driven down pretty much to the apron. You can actually see they bobble on that apron, which could be dangerous later on as he's going door to door with Zach Novak. He wants that second position. He wants it quick.
Yeah, he gets it there. No contest at all entering turn number 1. Move him up to second. Novak now back to third. Does Clampett have anything now for that 1 car of Ryan Luza? As the 10 of Corey Vincent sits right there as well, but you can't leave Ray Alfalla out of this either. Sitting there in that 5th spot. He hasn't let these guys get too far away, Tim.
No, Ray Alfalla definitely in the mix, as well as Corey Vincent, you mentioned, just in front of them. 4 cars trying to break away, but as you mentioned, Ray Alfalla is there. He's got Zielinski on his tail, Putz, Sturgis, and the rest of the field as they battle it out. 4 cars up in front, and keep in mind, Luza and Clampett right now, those are your point leaders as well. They're tied atop the standings heading into this round, so they've been the best statistically through the first 2 races of the season, but right now, Luza looks like he's starting to build a lead. Luza's pulling away from Logan Clampett.
At this point of the run, it's all about the conservation of tires, how well you did in that first 10 to 15 laps. So saving your tires is going to dictate how fast you are later in the run. And right now, Ryan Luza is starting to pull away from that 44 of Logan Clampett. 3 car lengths as they cross the start-finish line to complete lap number 22. It goes in the books, and we still got just over 100 laps left in this one here. Zielinski now, we just see him go around Ray Alfalla now for that 5th spot. So move the 83 up another spot as they continue to swap some places all throughout this field.
Absolutely. About 2 miles in almost 40 seconds, 38.3 seconds to be the exact for that number 1 position one, Ryan Michael Luza. But looking back further into it, we've got a large pack of cars, about 15th position back. Jake Sturgis, Joe Lattarillo, Christian Chalnier, Nick Ottinger is also involved, and Mitchell Hunt, who started outside row number 1. He's fighting for top 15. That's not what he wants to see, especially when it's a pack this busy. You never know what could happen as they grow into corner number 2 here on lap number 24.
There's some great battling going on throughout this field right now, and you get back here and you got all these guys pretty much with the same cars. Maybe you got a couple guys that are a little bit faster. The problem is they can't navigate through the traffic, and you get caught behind a slow guy or a guy that's a little bit slower than you or has a different entry. It really can mess up your line at this racetrack, and when it does, it kills your momentum off these corners, and that is a big key to these races, especially at this speedway. You need that momentum coming off of turns 2 and 4 as we see the 05 of Ottinger now looking to the inside. He's going to battle Joe Lattarillo now as they enter turn number 1.
And guys on different agendas as well. Ottinger may have missed his qualifying lap a little bit. Started 31st in this field. He looks underneath that 33 and will pick up the spot. 33 takes a little peek back down low, and that is the battle for position number 16. So Ottinger working his way through the field, and the driver that's next up on his list is a driver that started at the front and is working his way back a little bit of an opposite agenda. I'm sure that's not what Mitchell Hunt wants, but started in second, back in 15th, and he's got Ottinger and a few others running him down as there's now side by side behind Ottinger. This battle's getting intense.
Yeah, this battle's getting intense all over the racetrack here. And of course, this portion of tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Peak Antifreeze and Coolant, the official antifreeze of NASCAR, and the proud sponsor of the Peak Antifreeze Series, powered by iRacing. This battling going on throughout this field is absolutely phenomenal. The battle for the lead is separated by about half a second. Now, Ryan Luza has been able to pull away from Logan Clampett at the time being about the same distance back to Zach Novak, Corey Vincent, right there on the back of the 15's bumper as well. So not much has changed up towards the front, but all the action happening just outside the top 10, and it continues right now. Pretty good battle. Dylan Duvall right now trying to get around that 16 machine of Nolan Scott.
Yeah, and that is almost a full second. It's about 0.6 of a second between Ryan Michael Luza and Logan Clampett. But yeah, you get down into that pack right where just about where Jake Sturgis and Mitchell Hunt is, probably two of the loudest cars that are in that section right now. Everyone else seems to be running darker colors or plain white. Mitchell Hunt dipping to the inside as Nick Ottinger wants to follow him to the inside, as well as Alan Bowes, as the rest of the field just pulling right on through. I'm kind of surprised these guys aren't falling further back, because I've got 3 wide around Andrew Fayash. In the number 77 car is Chris Shearburn, looks to have on the outside, Brandon Schmidt on the inside, now being replaced by Brian Blackford on the outside. So they're running 3 wide already into corner number 2. Just as these tires are starting to go on, they're almost going to go 4 wide. Chris Shearburn, he had to hustle that car to make that corner.
Yeah, it looks like the 35 struggling a little bit in the center of the corner right there. Causes a little bit of a checkup. The 3 wide action going to subside just for the moment here. Is the 77 able to clear now the 3 on the inside. So move that Andrew Fayash machine up 1 spot. But Blackford looking strong on the outside. They'll make it 3 wide once again off turn number 4. Be short-lived, but how about let's add the 27 now. Cody Bias to the mix as they go 3 wide back into turn 3 or 1.
Bias taking a look on the outside, and looks like he'll pick up that spot, or at least 1 on Fayash. He's still side by side with Brandon Schmidt. Schmidt on the inside trying to make it happen. The 77 comes back to the inside in front of Byron Daly as they'll mix it up just outside the top 30. The one driver that I'm seeing falling back through the field right now is Christian Chalner in the 78. He was up front in the top 10 a little bit earlier, Andy, battling it out with those guys, and now he's back in 24th and continues to fall a little bit. Jimmy Mullis just made the move on him for 24th. Looks back to the inside, but I think when we talk about comers and goers, guys go into the front and guys come into the back, I think the 78 car might need a little bit of an adjustment on that race car. Maybe he's saving his tires and waiting for those guys in front of him to fall off a little bit.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple guys who are noting that having some problems early on. The 78 you mentioned, Christian Challoner, and of course, you can't forget about the 71 of Mitchell Hunt, started on the front row, and now currently, right now, in the 15th spot on the racetrack. So a few guys moving up through the field, not too much though, to say the least. The top 6 right now still have been in the top 10 from the start of this race here, with Ryan Luza continuing to pull away here. Some great battles going on. How about the 8 of Adam Gilliland putting a block now to the 01 of Marcus Richardson down the front straightaway. These guys, I'll tell you what, they may be battling for 20-something place right now, but they're really giving it their all.
Speaking of giving their all, Derek Bordeaux, that 04 car, he is working on Ray Alfalla right now. Obviously not as exciting as the multi-car action, but he started in 17th position. He's already up to 7th after 31 laps. He wants to have a very good performance here at Auto Club Speedway, showing off his talents in his first season here in the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series. But yeah, I think it's getting to the point where I'm kind of interested. These guys have been really running hard pretty much all race long here in the back of the pack, and they're really not falling off too bad from what you would expect with the leaders. Now, obviously, I think Ryan Michaeluza's gone. He seems to be having another rocket ship day here at Auto Club, but Logan Clampett as well seems to be doing fairly good, but really, it's not getting to be as spread out as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, the draft is what keeps it. It's amazing just to watch these races all over the week long, even in the fixed or the open setups during the week. And I'll tell you what, it's just the draft plays a huge part. Even if you're that much faster than the guy, he's able to keep with you by staying in your tracks. But we can see right now a pretty good battle going on. Derek Bordeaux, Ray Alfalla, that is for the 6th spot right now. Bordeaux had a run, had to check up pretty hard going into turn number 1 that time. Ray Alfalla choosing the lane he did, and this is what I was saying. You may be a little bit faster, but Ray Alfalla has a higher entry, and that's the one that Derek Bordeaux wanted. He was going to have to check up right there, and that's going to put him back. He's going to have to reset and try it once again. But we got a battle going up front. How about the 10 of Corey Vincent? He's moving around the 15 of Zach Novak now for that 3rd spot. You got the 83 of Bobby Zielinski looking to do the same as well.
Yeah, Novak might be falling off the pace a little bit compared to these drivers around him. Zielinski and the 10 of Corey Vincent got right up to the back bumper of Novak, and now the 83 trying to make a move on the 15 as the 15's trying to maintain that position up on the outside line. Novak trying to take 3rd back, but Vincent will drive off of corner number 2 with that spot. Now the 83 trying to find a way around, and there's a couple of drivers that are making their way and making their push towards the front of the field. As we mentioned, Bordeaux just behind them, trying to get Ray Alfalla's number and trying to get by him for a spot. And this is the time where we are about halfway through the tire run or so, about 15 laps or so into this run, a little more than that. So these guys are maybe starting to think about tire strategy, maybe starting to think about fuel strategy here. It might be in the middle of the pack where the excitement is, but these guys up in front, they might be starting to think the pit stops.
Yeah, pit stops have got to be on the mind. You're talking maybe about 10 more, maybe 15 tops for these guys, at least on tires anyway. These tires tend to wear out pretty quick. 30, 35 lap run, that's about all they want to do really on the tires. If it comes down to it, they can do over 40 laps on a fuel run. So it's going to be all about that and all about the strategy. Obviously counting your way backwards from lap 125 on to the front. So these guys are going to have to start, they got experienced guys up on top of the boxes, Cam, trying to punch the numbers and figure out when the best lap is to come down, and keep an eye on your fellow competitors as well, too. Ryan Luza, you don't want to stay out too much longer. If some of those guys in the top 5 start pitting before you do that, you're going to lose almost 2 seconds a lap.
Yeah, the fastest lap for Ryan Michaeluza was on the second one. It was a 37.684. His current laps 39.457s. So yeah, already almost 2 full seconds on that. Really, that's only got the 10. They pitted on lap 10, so really it's only got 25 lap old tires on that race car. So we're going to see here, and for me, is Logan Clampett going to be the one catching Ryan Michaeluza? Is Luza starting to just purely save tires? And also, just going through the overall strategy, it wouldn't surprise me if we don't see what some people tried at Vegas, last week, where people were doing full fuel runs regardless of the tires. We seem to be having a fairly good green flag run going on right now. That makes me excited because now we start getting to play the game of strategy.
Yeah, and some of those guys deeper in the field that we had been mentioning outside the top 20, nothing to lose really, I think, at this point, especially with long green flag runs, to maybe try to stretch it. And even with the possibility that you stay out that much longer, you're going to lose time on the track. But with all these other guys with fresh tires, sometimes that can mean cautions. That can mean, the closing speed to these other cars. It makes it quite interesting as well, too. So we might see some of those guys try that as well. How about the battle off of turn number 2 there? Down the back straightaway now. Clampett has caught Ryan Luz over the last couple of laps there, Tim. He's really closing in, trying to get this lead before pit stops.
Yeah, Luza lost a lot of time in corner number 1. Clampett got a really nice entry into corner number 1 and was able to make the time up off corner number 2. And looks like they were even through corner number 4, but now here comes the 44 to the inside. Logan Clampett trying to take the lead away from Luza. He will do so at the line and come right up in front of that number 1 new leader, Logan Clampett, as he drives it down into corner number 1. And we've seen pit strategy work out a couple of ways before in some of these races. We usually see some drivers come down in short pit. I think Aftermath Motorsports to that effect. If this race looks green, they might come down a little bit sooner. But we've also seen some of those drivers extend it on the fuel, and they've won races on that strategy as well. So there's going to be a couple play out here, I'm sure. But nevertheless, Logan Clampett looking good on the long run. Picks up the lead the last lap, and he'll lead at lap number 39.
Yeah, one of the first drivers on pit road. How about Michael Conti? You mentioned him, an Aftermath Motorsports driver. He's the first one of the lead lap guys to come down. He was running 10th when he came down pit road. So this is his opportunity. The longer these guys ahead of him stay out, he might be just swinging that lead back over to the number 5 former peak Antifreeze Series champion, Michael Conti. So the laps continue to wind down. We work lap number 40. Right now, 85 to go this next time by. Plenty of time, and you look at that number, 85 to go. You got these guys up on the box cam trying to calculate when to come in. It makes it awfully tough because right now you're almost in that point where do you make it on one more stop and really stretch these runs out to about 40 laps a run, or do you shrink them down a little bit and make about 28 laps a run and pit 2 more times before this thing's over?
That's the fun thing, because normally when you get perhaps an official series, you'll get people from all over the world. They typically try to stick to just one strategy. Here in the Pro Series, it opens up the entire rule book. Will Cooley, Alex Bergeron, also getting their tires and fuel service. They'll be picking up 4 brand new Goodyear Eagles and getting on their way. And for me, it's interesting to see Michael Conti. He's in. Now, obviously, he's going to go a lap down. When he fully was up to speed, it was about 45 seconds, him to the leader. So expect to go a lap down a little bit. Alan Bowes now joining in. Blake Reynolds, Mitchell Hunt, as more of your top 10 cars, top 20 cars are starting to come in and get their pit service. Adam Gill and Timmy Hill and Michael J. Johnson. So pit lane business is picking up.
It is picking up. I'm watching that 5 car right now on the racetrack. How about that, Tim? Just look at the difference in the tires as he starts heading around all these guys that are still out there. I mean, he's just literally, last time around through 3 and 4, went to the high side. He's doing the same now, and just look at him go around these guys and how much faster those fresh tires are and how much time he's actually gaining right now as he just basically weaving in and out, going wherever he wants to go as we go on board him.
Yeah, you look on board the 5 of Michael Conti as the 44 of Logan Clampett. Your leader decides to come down pit road at the completion of lap 42. And the one thing we should note, it's 1 lap after Ryan Luza decided to come down pit road from behind him. So there's some strategy being played out here. And as we see, Michael Conti stuck in behind the 88, the lap car of Barry. And that got a little bit close, and it looks like he's going to continue on his merry way. But Michael Conti had to get on the binders there a little bit and try to avoid the lap car.
Yeah, I think that cost him possibly the lead, because right in front of him was Ryan Luza trying to get up to speed, and Michael Conti was trying to get through there. He would have been able to get around him. Wasn't going to happen now as he pulls alongside the 10 now of Corey Vincent, who's still out on the racetrack right now, shown as your leader. Ryan Luza just ahead of these guys. As you see Logan Clampett now coming off of the apron down on turn number 2. He'll get back up onto the racetrack, and right now he'll slot in behind Michael Conti. So from pitting at the 10th spot now, presuming everything's going to go green flag pit stops here, you're going to see that number 5 actually come out a big winner here on this first round.
Well, that is what we saw at Las Vegas. If you pitted early, you really gained, and whomever didn't pit early had to run to the fuel numbers because there was no other way of doing it. 3 wide, though, between Cody Bias, Brad Davies, and Christian Chandler, actually, as well as Alan Bowes, Challenger, excuse me, and then, Marcus Richardson wants some of this 3 wide action as they go 4 wide for a second with Kenny Humpy well on the inside line. He almost lost it going down on the apron there. These guys are using the entire track and possibly not even parts of the track to do their racing here. But yeah, watching Michael Conti just power his way through. He had an unfortunate bump with Josh Berry. No serious damage, though, between the two, I don't think. No friendly damage, at least on Conti's car. But yeah, it's going to get interesting real quick as soon as you see this, as they go 4 wide across the start-finish line, but it only lasts for a second.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Only lasts for a second because all these guys with the fresh tires right now. A couple drivers coming down. Dylan Duvall heading down pit road. The 40 of Jimmy Bullets. Those drivers are going to come down pit road as well. Still about 14 cars or so still out on the racetrack that have not made this green flag pit stop. Still led, of course, by that 10 of Corey Vincent, Bobby Zielinski as well, and the 83 is still out there as well. Zach Novak, a lot of these guys deciding to stay out there. As you see, Alan Bowes trying to get around them now. It's a 10, peels off. Corey Vincent's going to come down now here on lap number 46. He'll complete it as he goes down pit road. He's going to make his pit stop now. That's going to put Bobby Zielinski now to the top spot.
Interested to see Ray Alfala still out in the racetrack as he gets split by Humpy and Sturgis. He's in position number 3, and there goes PJ Sturgis underneath the 2 of Ray Alfala. The tires are prevailing right now for some of these drivers that pitted early, and the guys that stayed on the racetrack still out there and being dodged by these guys. But Bobby Zielinski out in front, and there's 3 behind him, or 2 behind him. Looks like Jake Sturgis is going to go to the outside. This is going to get tight coming down into corner number 4. Zielinski couldn't pit if he wanted to because PJ Sturgis works underneath him with the tires.
It's just amazing, the difference from the fresh tires to the old tires, and it just makes it that much interesting. And that's why I said earlier that sometimes when you have these odd pit stops like this, and you have so many guys going that much faster than the other guys, a lot of times it'll cause some issues out on the racetrack, especially with the closing speeds coming off of these corners. So far, it's been so good for everybody right now. Working lap number 48 for Bobby Zielinski. Continues to lead this here. Still 13 cars. Make it 14. Well, 13. We'll call it 13. Still on the lead lap, or on the that have not made their pit stop, I should say. Still trying to make it Ryan Luza, the first one that has pitted out there. He's shown right now 30 seconds back in 14th. So a lot of drivers still out there trying to hope maybe for what could be a caution that could change everything.
It certainly could, and perhaps if these guys stay even longer out, as here comes Marcus Richardson, Chris Shearburn, and Brian Schoenberg onto the pit lane here at Auto Club, all the way down to the speed limit of 55 miles an hour. Yeah, they're working on it. They're coming through. Ray Alfala looks like he's going to be cutting in. Kyle Putz is going to be cutting in, as well as Brian Blackford. So I think that the rest of the field might start coming in here. Let's see, can they even get through here? There's so many cars with brand new tires. They're passing on the left and the right. It could be tricky.
Yeah, that's what makes it a lot of fun, especially when you're trying to come down pit road. You got guys that are squeezing on the inside. That doesn't give you that opportunity, so you better hope you have that extra lap of fuel there. So the 15 sounds like he's going to come in the next time. That's Zach Novak, who had restarted on this restart as he's getting pushed to the inside here. The 42 of Dylan Duvall going to go around him, and that just makes it that much interesting. As Ottinger as well trying to get around, but those 2 drivers going to come down pit road. Looks like the 15 is Zach Novak this time. Not sure. He's going to come down too. He's going to come down just in front. So our top 2 guys right now, they're going to head down pit road. Christian Challenger, he's going to stay out one more time here. He'll get a lap lead for the 78.
And it was a really close call between Zielinski and Duvall going down into corner number 1. I think Zielinski was trying to set up this pit stop that he's currently making on pit road, and Duvall with those new tires going to the inside and trying to clear those 2 leaders. But no harm, no foul for them as Challenger takes the lead position. Brad Davies is going to be scored in position number 2, and the 78 is, I believe, coming to pit road this time, Andy, and it looks like he does have the inside line. Given that no other driver with fresh tires can get down there, I think we'll see the 78 peel off this time by as Putz works on the outside. 78 working that inside line, and here he comes.
Yeah, here he comes. He's going to be followed by second place Brad Davies in that number 11 machine as well. Looks like the 77 going to try to get wound up. We got a spinner off of turn number 4.
That's her
Looks
caution.
like the 22 and a caution out for the second time. Looks like Brian Blackford off turn number 4. Not sure exactly what happened. It was a single car spin there up on the high side. Doesn't look any damage as the replay goes up on the screen.
Yeah, so this was, he was just starting to make the exit of 4, and the rear just kicked out on him. This is the first time we've seen it. Now, he had the car under control about 90% of the way, and then finally that banking kicked in. The rears slid, and he ended up turning that car 90 degrees, going towards the wall. So Brian Blackford, yep, he's going to be the one bringing out the caution here. Brought the car up under control. No one was really around him. That's what you want to see. No scratched up cars for this caution. Lap 51 though, as well, I guess it's an okay thing. Literally everybody had just came in for pits.
Yeah, this might, as we come back live to you here, and we get the field starting to slow down behind the pace car here off of turn number 4. Looks like some of the guys getting caught a lap down, which isn't a good thing. But pit road will be open for the leaders, and I'll tell you one driver that this has benefited a lot. How about the 5 of Michael Conti? That short pit strategy got him up to second. Now currently third. Logan Clampitt was able to get around him. But there you go. There's your track position. That was a great move by the 5 car. And now he's got himself, as all the leaders come down, they want those fresh tires because that was a long enough run since they've made their green flag pit stop.
We'll see if anybody decides to gamble here or not. I see Bordeaux overshot his box. He has to back up to get into his stall to get service on his car. But you mentioned it. Michael Conti took the gamble, and now he sits in position number 3 of those guys that were down pit road, and Conti's already down and away. Really quick pit stop for the 5-peak car.
Good pit stop by the 1 as well, too. It looks like Michael Conti going to beat out Logan Clampitt for that second spot. So that'll give him a front row spot for the restart here, our second restart of the night when we get back underway. Interesting call, though. The 78 had already just come down about a lap or so. This might shake things up, too, as well. You might not see everybody come down pit road. Might see that 78 start up here in the front. So currently right now shown as your race leader. We'll see if he stays out over the course of the this caution break here. But I'll tell you what, it was kind of interesting. You kind of had a feeling that maybe a caution would come out. It would be nice to see how everything shapes up, but I'll tell you what, Michael Conti, great for him. Derek Bordeaux, Kenny Humpy as well, that short pit for him. Currently showing him in the 6th spot. We'll see it, it'll probably recalculate itself here when they go across the start-finish line. We'll see if he's still there, but still, Kenny Humpy started 23rd. He's really running around that 15th place on back here majority of the night, and that right now has an opportunity for a top 10 restart.
Yeah, absolutely. And something else that I had forgot to mention, Mitchell Hunt, the 71 car that had started in 2nd position at the course of this race. He was exiting pit lane, lost it coming off of corner number 4, and crashed it into the inside barrier, ripping apart the entire front clip of that car, giving it engine damage. So Mitchell Hunt's day has come to an end. And with Josh Berry, whatever damage he had, he's fixed. And he's now pushed up to 42nd position because he's circulating. Mitchell Hunt, nothing he can do. He is going to go from 2nd to 43rd just like that.
Well, Tim, just like I expected, and everything recalculated itself at the start-finish line. And how about that? 8 drivers stayed out. They only just came down pit road just moments ago, really, under the green flag. Only probably a couple laps on those tires. A good call for some of them to stay out. Guys like the 78 of Christian Schallner, we saw start 9th, but he had fallen all the way back almost to the 20th spot earlier in this race, and now here he finds himself an opportunity up front. How about Brad Davies starting 43rd here tonight? It's a good opportunity for him up towards the front of the field as well.
Yeah, I think the first time we called Brad Davies' name all night long was when he was running in 2nd, coming down pit road to get his service, and now he'll restart in position number 2. The veteran of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series will have that outside start, and we'll see if he can maintain that. And on the opposite side of the coin, you have Ryan Lusa scored in position number 9, Logan Clampitt back in position number 11, Michael Conti in between the two. Some guys that were running up front, Derek Bordeaux has scored in 14th, Jake Sturgis in 15th. You've got some guys that benefited from the strategy. You got some guys that did not get the track position that they wanted. But Chalner, we saw him earlier in the race up in front, and then as that green flag run wore on, he fell back a little bit, back to about the mid-pack, and then he got that strategy call played out. So we'll see how it transpires here as the field will begin to double up. We've completed 54 of the 125 laps.
Yeah, we got plenty of time still left in this one, Cam, to get this thing figured out. But we had the top 7, I believe it was, were all guys that started in the top 10. Now we're starting to see a mix here. Now we're starting to see some of the guys that were towards the back up towards the front. And the green flag pit stops are what does this. This is exactly what we're seeing right now. Chris Shearburn up in the top 10 now for the first time here tonight. Marcus Richardson as well. Then you got guys that were in the top 5, top 3 most of the night. Corey Vincent going to restart 17th on this one.
Yeah, Brad Davies, 43rd to 2nd. He is literally flipped positions with Mitchell Hunt. Now we've got our third start for the day. This is going to be the third different person starting. So what is Christian Chalnier going to do with his number 78 Chevy as they go into corner number 3? Lights off on the pace car. We're going to go green this time.
Yeah, the good ones are going to be to watch here. It's the 83 of Bobby Zielinski. He's been fast all night long. He's going to get an opportunity here to restart up to the front. A couple guys that haven't been up front all night just ahead of him. We'll see if he can do anything with that. Good call for Ray Alfalla to stay out as well, too. Otherwise, he'd probably be back around that 13th, 14th spot back there with Derek Bordeaux. He's going to stay out here as well. So pace car going to head back down to pit road. We'll get this thing back underway, and that we do. The 78 Christian Challenger leads him to the green flag. A side-by-side battle for second as he starts to pull away. It's 3 car lengths now for Christian.
And now Zielinski going to go to the inside of Davies as they'll dance for position number 2. Novak on the outside of Alfalla. Alfalla gets a great entry into the corner, and he'll look underneath Brad Davies. Davies on the outside trying to hold that spot and trying to get Zielinski there as well as the 83 shuts the door on the 11 and opens it for the 2. Here comes Alfalla to the inside, and he'll look at Zielinski for position number 2. Meanwhile, up in front, Chalnier's your leader. Look at Conti on the outside, 3 wide.
Yeah, Michael Conti, since the drop of the green flag, moved right to the outside in turn number 1. He's going around everybody, makes his way around Chris Shearburn. That's going to move him up now to the 8th spot. Michael Conti trying to get back up to the front here as quick as possible. He continues to work the outside now as he's got Logan Clampett and Ryan Lucid just ahead of him. As the 78 of Christian Challenger trying to pull away from Ray Alfalla. Ray Alfalla, great job getting up to that 2nd spot now. We'll see if he can start to reel in our leader as well as the 83 puts the pressure on him.
At the start of that, as they were lining up coming off of 4, he was about 4 or 5 car lengths behind the car he was starting in front, behind. That is Ray Alfalla. He closed up right before the green, and even then, though, he was still able to use that just a little bit of speed. He timed it fairly well. It wasn't perfectly, as just look at how far Christian Challenger has gotten up ahead in that number 78. He's got, as it stands, already a what appears to be a 0.4 of a second gap between him and Ray Alfalla, and already Zach Novak, who's had a very good recovery from that pit stop. There's Ryan Michaeluza already. Logan Clampett are already moving up. So the quick guys, unsurprisingly, moving to the front very quickly.
Yeah, of course, they came down on this yellow flag to get fresh tires. So even though it's a couple laps difference on the tires, still showing the speed that those guys had from the start of this race. Ryan Luza and Logan Clampett now to the 5th and 6th spot, respectively. Now close their sights on Zach Novak and Bobby Zielinski. Michael Conti has made his way through the traffic as well. He's cleared the 11 now off of turn number 2. And it looks like we had some trouble with the 06. He spun onto pit road. Will not bring out a yellow flag, but it will put him deep into the field. Byron Daly, going to be problems for him. Might possibly go a lap down with a pit road violation. But nonetheless, Byron Daly, we stay green flag, and he now finds himself in 41st position. The one of Ryan Luza really closing in now on Zach Novak as they work their way back into turn number 1.
And he's bringing Logan Clampett along with him. Those two have been lockstep since we went green flag racing. Whatever Luza does, Clampett seems to make that spot up as well. But they're bringing Michael Conti along with them too. Conti is about 2 lengths back in position number 7. Brad Davies has fallen back to 8th as a caution flag flies in the speedway.
That's well in the back of the field.
Way back, it looks like the number 90 and the 47 of Chris Overland. Problems for those drivers off of turn number 2. Get a replay up on your screen here. And that's all it was contact. It looks like the 94 and the 90. 90 got loose, maybe on the apron. He spun around, a couple contact by some other drivers. Not too much damage on anybody else. Maybe a little right side damage for the 47 of Chris Overland. But for the most part, it looked like just the 90 of Nicholas Johnston right there. Just got on the apron, it looks like on the corner exit there. Got loose, and that's all it took.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. We had a very, for having such a busy start, I was surprised that this would be happening now, seeing as the people in back there were actually trying to keep it quiet. Now, we did see another couple of cars spinning out. The 09 David Rattler did indeed spin, but he managed to actually roll the steering wheel back around to where when the car snapped in reverse to spin it around, it did not touch the wall, so very good maneuvering from Rattler as they're going to re-rack him. I can't imagine anyone's going to be coming into the pit lane, but you never know.
Well, you never know, but you might as well. And here they do come. Pit road is open. The leader is heading that way. The big ones to see if they're going to come down are going to be the one of Ryan Luza. He does come down pit road. Looks like everybody going to follow him as well. No one staying out on the racetrack. So all your leaders heading down pit road. A great call for the 78. It's going to keep him up towards the front here. We'll see if he can make it on the pit stop as well.
We'll see if Ryan Luza, Logan Clampett, Michael Conti can pick up a couple of spots here on pit road as they were working their way through the pack under the green flag. The 78 trying to get back out in front, and it looks like a clean stomp so far for Chalner in the 78, and he'll drop the jack. They'll get going again, and it looks fairly clean for that 78 as he works his way off pit road, and he might lose the race off pit road. Is that Corey Vincent in front of him?
That might be a two-tire stop for that 10 car right there. We'll have to check on that, but Corey Vincent going to win the race off of pit road. Looks like a couple other spots have changed a little bit there. Michael Conti, another great stop for him. He'll beat out the 44 Logan Clampett and the 15, but yes, a two-tire stop for the number 10 of Corey Vincent. So I'll tell you what, he needed to do something to get himself back some track position. He did it. Now all he needs is maybe a 10, 15 lap run, maybe lose about 3 or 4 spots, keep himself in the top 5, another caution. That puts him right on strategy with the rest of the guys as well.
Oh, that it will. I think people were really starting to stretch their legs for a potential long green flag run, and then once that second caution came out, well, I think they started to see here people might just start getting a little cold. They're getting a little bit out of rhythm. They start losing that car, and you got to remember the weather today: 65 degrees Fahrenheit, 68 degrees Fahrenheit on the track. A little bit of wind coming out of the southwest, being 6 mile an hour. Tons of humidity though, 86%. And I don't necessarily think that's changed from the start of this race, but you never know. As just looking through the field here, they're going to re-rack them and restack them. But let's hope these guys can keep it nice and clean.
Yeah, we hope that. This portion, of course, of tonight's broadcast brought to you by Herculiner Truck Bed Liners, the official bed liner of NASCAR. Dylan Duvall decided to stay out. Kind of an interesting call. I would think maybe a two-tire stop like Corey Vincent did, but Dylan Duvall choosing to stay out, Tim. That's kind of an interesting call here early, or that with that many laps on the tires.
Yeah, he's got a few laps on the tires, and we're getting to that midway point of this race. Everybody else came down pit road for at least 2 tires, if you're in the case of Corey Vincent, or 4 tires for the leaders. Not sure if I really like this call, but we'll see how it plays out. Dylan's been running about mid-pack so far in this race, so if he can gain a couple of spots, maybe he's banking on a quick caution flag to come out, and maybe it'll put him back in the top 10 or reset him around that point. But we're halfway through this race. We've got about 60 or so laps to go. So if you look at the tire strategy, if realistically, if this thing goes green, Andy, we're looking at a one stop to the end of the race. We've seen a few cautions in this thing too, but I'm sure that's in the back of some of those minds that we've already had that green flag almost cycle through with pit stops. We might see it again.
That we might. You mentioned it, though, the halfway point of tonight's race. So let's take a look at our iRacing Midway Race Break, brought to you by iRacing, the world's premier online racing game with professionally organized racing from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, and much, much more. Currently at the top of the board, it's the 42 of Dylan Duvall. Corey Vincent runs second. Christian Challoner will sit in that third spot. Fourth goes to Bobby Zielinski. Ray Alfalla will restart in the 5th spot. 6th to Ryan Luza. Michael Conti, 7th. 8th is Zach Novak. Logan Clampett in the 9th spot. And rounding out your top 10, it's the 11 of Brad Davies.
Inside on in position 11, Marcus Richardson, that 01. Jake Sturgis is outside. Kyle Putz will be following right behind him. Alan Bowes is going to be in your 14th position. 15th is Cody Bias. Derek Bordeaux, he's been back and forward and back again. He's going to be in 16th. Kenny Humpy in 17th. PJ Sturgis in 18th. Blake Reynolds 19th. And Nick Ottinger rounds out your top 20.
Chris Shearburn runs 21st, Jimmy Mullis in 22nd, Adam Gill in 23, Joe Letteriello runs 24th, Timmy Hill 25th, Jake Nichols 26th, Nolan Scott 27th, Casey Tucker 28th, Brandon Schmidt 29th, completing your top 30, the 25 of Will Cooley.
Philip Diaz is 31st, 32nd to Brian Schoenberg, Michael J. Johnson 33rd, 34th to Ryan Lowe, Andrew Fayash 35th, 36th, Brian Blackford, David Rattler, 37th, 38th was to Nicholas Johnson, Chris Overland, 39th, and Byron Daly, 40th. And the last car on the lead lap, that's Alex Bergeron in 41st spot. Two drivers down on, almost out of this one, I should say 10 laps down. It's Josh Berry and Mitchell Hunt in the 43rd spot, 21 laps down. That has been your iRacing Midway Race Break. For more information on the wide variety of sim racing possibilities, visit iRacing.com and sign up today. Green flag's back underway on lap number 65. Good start for Dylan Duvall. Pulls out a couple car length lead now over that 10 of Corey Vincent. Bobby Zielinski trying to use that outside lane. It's a 3 wide behind the fourth.
Yeah, that was really caused by Corey Vincent. He dripped way down, and that really stomped the inside line. Logan Clampett, he wants to go 3 wide going into corner number 3 after the first time here after that last caution. Ray Alfaro, though, he is staying right in the middle. They'll get Chalner, and they will have Logan Clampett on the inside. Already a caution. They're wrecking in the back. 4, 5, 6, 7 cars involved.
Caution out for the number 16 machine. It looks like on that one right there, Nolan Scott coming through turns 3 and 4. Some heavy damage, it looks like, on that 16 machine. So another caution, a quick one here. Got hit by the 55 there. Going into turn number 3. How about that? Brian Schoenberg, what a dive into turn number 3 right there. Just drifts up in the center of the corner. Makes some contact. A couple other drivers involved right there. Looks like the 39 involved in that one as well. Some contact. A bunch of drivers involved in 90. The 22 around. A whole bunch of guys got involved in that one right there. So our big one, we'll call it there tonight here, comes on lap number 65.
You got Overland with some damage as well. Nolan Scott went through that, and as you mentioned, the 90 of Nick Johnston, heavy damage to that number 90 car. Tough break for him, as I believe the 22 may have got a piece of that slotting through that incident. So those guys at the back of the field having to try to avoid what's been going on back there. Your leader is up in front as they come by the start-finish line, and Dylan Duvall, so far so good. That restart was good. He got on the throttle, ran and hid, and it looked like he was going to be challenged before that yellow flag flew, and now Duvall will go back up to the top of the scoring pile on Vincent Zielinski. And how about Ray Alfala, Ryan Luza, the 78 at Chalner? They were 3 wide. Logan Clampett thought about making it 4 wide. Very exciting racing coming after that green flag drop. It's We'll see what transpires here on this next restart.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. I think off turn number 2, we had 2 rows of 3 wide there for a moment. Some great racing. Logan Clampett wanted to start it all right there and dove way down to the inside of Michael Conti, and it was just that was a great piece of driving right there. Christian Challenger just right in the middle of it, really nowhere to go for him. Just basically hang on to it. When you're in a situation like that, Cam, it's just you got to hang on, just hold your line, and you just got to hope that your spotter calls you clear on these guys, and you hope that their spotter and the guys around you are calling it true as well. That way you guys all can make it through, and that's exactly what happened for all those guys.
Yeah, absolutely, and we did see quite an aggressive start, I thought, by Corey Vincent. He stayed on the outside, and then he dove well to the inside, and then before pushing it out before entering corner number 8. Corner number 8. They said the number 8, and then I said it out loud. There is no corner number 8. This is better than that. We going into 2, he ended up going down and then high again right after they went after the start-finish line. That stopped the forward momentum of the inside line, and once that happened, they packed up, and really they just started going from there, and it was a very good tight battle. I was expecting if they were going to wreck that would be the spot, not well in the back in 38th and 39th positions. Total cars involved, the number 16 is Scott, the number 55 is Schoenberg, the number 39 of Johnson, the 94 of Diaz, 94 of Overland, that doesn't make any sense, 90 of Johnson, and then, of course, Blackford finishing out. So that's 7 cars, 7 total cars picking up damage in that incident.
So the carnage finally comes on lap number 65 here tonight, and other than that, we're going to have ourselves a good one here. That was some great racing up front from these guys. Different strategies as well. We mentioned the 42 staying out. Corey Vincent with the 2 tires on that 2 cautions ago at this point here when pit stops happen. So different strategies up towards the front of the field. Definitely going to shake things up a little bit, and we'll see what can happen. We got guys like Ryan Luza trying to make his way back up to the top spot where he had been the majority of the first portion of this race here, leading this thing. And, of course, he got caught by Logan Clampett at one point as well for that top spot right before the green flag pit stops happened. So we know those 2 drivers wanted to get back up to the front. Currently, Logan Clampett sits at that 8th spot.
You could feel that sense of urgency when that green flag dropped for Ryan Luza and Michael Conti and Logan Clampett to try to push their way back towards the front of the field. And with Dylan Duval out there, you saw it with Corey Vincent and Bobby Zielinski to try to make that move for the top spot, and then what happened behind them to bring out that caution flag. But if they continued to go 2, 3, and at times 4 wide as Logan Clampett thought about making that move, that melee at the back could have been the melee at the front as they were all going hard. It was almost like it was lap 124 instead of lap 64 when they threw that green flag, as Dylan Duval will lead them across the stripe, and we're soon ready to go back to green flag competition, as it looks like we'll get ready to double them up this time by across the start finish line.
So we'll double them up, get set to get back under the green flag condition here. So we work lap number 69 right now. And we'll look to complete that when they come back for the green flag. So plenty of time for these drivers. You mentioned it a moment ago, Tim. Probably one more stop for these guys at least. We're getting close, about 60, 2 laps or so still left in this thing. So, I mean, there's still plenty of time for these drivers to get up. Some of the guys maybe caught back, like we mentioned, the Logan Clampetts, the Zach Novaks, the guys who have been running up in the top 5 all night. It gives them an opportunity still with at least one more pit stop here, maybe under green too. And so maybe this is an opportunity for those guys to make a short pit scenario for themselves, to get themselves back to the front before this thing is over. So a lot can go down in this one before this thing is all said and done. And right now, Dylan Duval, where he needs to be, started 13th. He's in the top spot right now, stayed out 2 cautions ago. And we got the 10 car, Corey Vincent, with 2 tires now to his outside. Everybody else, 4 tires all behind them. They're all locked up, ready to go. They want to get this thing back underway. We saw some 3 wide action going on that last restart. We'll see if it can happen once again this time. The field makes its way through 3 and 4 this time. And we'll get ready for some more action. The pace car now going to head back down to pit road. We'll get off the racetrack. No hesitation from the 42 of Dylan Duval. The green flag is back in the air. And we're underway once again here at Auto Club. The 10 of Corey Vincent, pretty good start. He's going to try to keep clear of that 83 of Bobby Zielinski. Not going to happen before they hit turn number 1. It's side by side for second.
Easy clearing from that number 42 car, but here comes Bobby Zielinski, a much better exit, which is surprising seeing as the leader had no traffic around him and Zielinski was forced to the bottom with Vincent on his outside. So it actually, Dylan Duval is going to get swarmed. We're 3 wide for the lead here on lap number 70 of 125 as Zielinski, he's going to nip to the inside in his 83. I almost think this is going to be the first lap he is going to lead tonight, but he has been up front. He's been hungry for it. Started in 4th, he was started in 3rd here at the restart, now up to 1st.
3 wide for the lead, 3 wide for second. Now Luza takes over the second spot, 3 wide for the 3rd spot now. Michael Conti to the inside. He'll clear the 42 of Dylan Duval. Corey Vincent now stuck on that outside lane, not able to get anywhere now. Top 3, they're going to be separated now. Side by side battle is for 4. Some more 3 wide action a little bit further back, just outside the top 10. That'll settle down now as Brad Davies will look to go in front of the 01 of Marcus Richardson. 2x2 though, continuing outside the top 5. Top 3 starting to break away. Here comes Zach Novak looking to pinch it down to the inside. He'll drop to the apron. So does Alfala. They're looking to get around the 42.
Yeah, Novak got that run, and now to the inside of the 42 of Dylan Duval is Zach Novak. He's bringing Ray Alfala and Logan Clampett along with him. It looked like for a little while that 10 car of Corey Vincent would have something on the outside, just couldn't make it happen. And look at Logan Clampett putting the nose back down. Another move back there, I believe that's Bordeaux taking a look, almost 4 wide down the back straightaway. Ray Alfala continuing to take a peek at the back bumper of the 42 of Dylan Duval. The 10 car sideways out of corner number 4. Nice little save by Corey Vincent, but he's going to lose spots at a premium. They went 3 wide underneath him. He's going to lose at least 5 spots.
Yeah, he's going to lose a ton of spots right there after a little hiccup off of turn number 4. It's going to gain a lot of spots for some other drivers, though, as well. Logan Clampett, he'll clear Ray Alfala. Now Derek Bordeaux looking to the inside of the 2 machine off turn 2 as well. He's got the run now. Fast machine for the 04. Move Derek Bordeaux up to that 7th spot as Ryan Luza closes in on the race lead as well in turn 3.
Yeah, they were hitting 205 miles an hour going into corner number 3. Luza was sucked up right behind that number 83 Ford. I'm waiting to see here, is he going to make the pass, or is he got his fingers crossed? Hey, maybe this is going to be a bit more of a green flag run. This is something I would consider a very large speedway. Draft does matter, fuel matters at some point, but obviously with the tires running off, you never know which one you're going to need, tires or fuel, depending on how the race runs. But he might just stick down there, or might go to the inside this time by. It looks like that was what he might try to do. Oh, he's just saying hello in the rear mirrors of Bobby Zelensky, that 83 car. But Michael Conti, what a run he has had. He's gone backwards and forwards all day, especially with that pit cycle, staying way longer out than his peers. Now he's up to 3rd position with Zach Novak hunting behind. A little bit of a gap. Back to 6th position with Logan Clampett.
Yeah, Logan Clampett just made the pass on Dylan Duval as during that last lap right there. Moves him up into 5th. Derek Bordeaux now around Dylan Duval as well. The battle for leads continues to heat up, though. Unable to find the way around him right now is the one of Ryan Luza. Do you think he's just riding right there, trying to spot where he's going to make this pass, or do you think he's conserving tires? Well, forget about it. Here he goes, Tim, into turn number 3, to the inside, looking for the race lead off turn 4.
Yeah, he set it up nicely off corner number 4, and now he'll be side by side with Zelensky as they come out of corner number 4. The 83 will have the run on the outside. Luza will continue to work on the inside. It looked like he had the momentum to make it work down into corner number 3, but he'll try it again down into corner number 1, try to drive it in deep. Will Ryan Luza? The 83 continues on the outside, not giving him a whole lot of room on that inside line to work as they go side by side. Michael Conti trying to reel them in from behind, but Luza got an excellent corner exit at a corner number 2. He should be able to drive it in here, and if he can drive it in deep enough, he should come out with the lead.
He'll take the position now off turn number 4, slide up right in front of the 83 of Bobby Zelensky. And as he does that, Logan Clampett looks for the 4th spot now as he dives to the inside of Zach Novak as they work down the front straightaway as well. Zelensky not allowing that one to get away, and Logan Clampett not allowing any of them to get away as he's starting to move up to the front and around Zach Novak. Now sets his sight now on the 5 of Michael Conti as they exit turn number 2.
Conti has been pushing it all race long. Absolutely no reserve left in that 44 Chevrolet. He is burning it all up here, just trying to chase every single car that he can that's in front of him. Obviously, that's the point here in the race, but his strategy, very straightforward. Get to the front. He's making it work, too. He's been scything his way through the field back and forth with all the pit stops and everything, so that's very good running from him. Dylan Duval and Alan Bowes back fighting for top 10 position as they cross the start-finish line right next to each other, door to door. The number 42 on the inside of Duval looks like he'll get the position. Christian Chalner following right in front of him. Marcus Richardson, Kenny Humpy all sitting back there. I think these guys are a little sick and tired of all these cautions. They're going to just cycle it back just a little bit, try and get comfy, try and get some of these laps done.
Yeah, try to log some laps at this point in the race, knowing they got at least one more pit stop before this thing is all said and done here. On the outside, Bowes looking to try to get around that 42 with Duval. Of course, Duval was the guy who stayed out on that 2 cautions ago, stayed out on those older tires. It's really starting to show now as he falls outside the top 10, that time by at the line. Marcus Richardson able to edge him out for that spot as they work their way back into turn number 1. Still side-by-side action. You got Kenny Humpy right there. Right behind him, Cody Bias, Nick Ottinger as well. Former winner at this racetrack, looking to get up there and try to make some noise in the top 10.
So the three drivers from the team running nose to tail, and right now side by side, if you count Duval and Humpy. There's a name we haven't really spoken a lot this evening, was Kenny Humpy, running about mid-pack, qualified in 23rd, and now he's pushing up to position number 11. He's a former winner here at Auto Club Speedway, working that outside line, and now trying to set his sights on Marcus Richardson for position number 10. Cody Bias, pretty much the same deal, started 42nd, working his way up to position number 13, but now we're in the second half of this race, and it looks like the former NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series champion beginning to show his strength as Kenny Humpy working on Richardson for 10th.
Great battle for him. It's good to see Kenny Humpy getting back up into this. It's been pretty quiet for him. He had some wins last season, but so far this season been very quiet for the driver in the number 58. He's trying to get something done here right before this next build comes out this week. He peeks his nose to the inside now down the front straightaway. He looks to have the advantage before they head to turn number 1. It's Kenny Humpy looking to get into the top 10 for the first time here tonight, and he's doing so on lap 81. Just 45 laps left to go here in this one.
Speaking of Kenny Humpy, he's having obviously that very good run. PJ Sturgios, it seems that it has flipped around on him. He's sitting back in 21st position after starting in 12th position. He's been sliding on back. He is now it almost looks like he's stuck behind Timmy Hill, but they're running very similar lap times, and PJ just doesn't seem to be able to get the speed to try and blow on by that number 4 of Timmy Hill. But I don't want to say he's stuck, but right now that car not behaving as much as he would like. Looks like he's carrying some right front damage just behind that right front wheel. Perhaps that could be what's slowing him down as he goes 207 miles an hour into corner number 1.
That's some fast times going on with these guys in that draft there, up over 200 miles an hour, especially on we'll call them older tires at this point here in this run. Here as we work lap number 82, but that's a lot. That's a lot of speed, I'll say, carrying these things. That's even almost more speed than we see at Daytona at times as well, too. At some of the restrictor plate races, it's just unbelievable the amount of speed they carry. We'll see speeds like that when they hit the. Whenever you go to a track similar to this, like a Michigan International Speedway, where there's no restrictor plates, a 2-mile oval, heavy, high banks, you carry a lot of speed at that racetrack as well, too. So good things coming for a lot of these drivers here. Ryan Luza back up to the top spot, pulling away now from the 83 of Bobby Zielinski. Michael Conti, though, closing the door in that second spot. A fantastic run for the driver in the number 5 here tonight. And how about Logan Clampett, able to make his way through the traffic? He's gotten up to the 4th spot now. Just trying to close in, do what he can to get close enough to that top spot. He knows he's fast on the long run. See, we saw that earlier in the race here tonight, where he actually caught Ryan Luza and passed him for the race lead. So we know when that 44 has got some speed in him. The problem is just getting that track position. He got caught back there behind some cars on this most initial restart here. So he's just trying to make up some ground right now, trying to get back up there, getting at least shouting distance of that number 1 machine before this final round of pit stops.
I think the 5 of Michael Conti is really starting to come into his own on this long run. He's closing in on Zielinski for position number 2. He might not have the speed that Ryan Luza has, but we did see on the first long run of this race, Logan Clampett reeled in Luza and took the lead prior to those pit stops. So if Ryan Luza maybe changed something on that run and maybe he's got a little more speed on the long run, we'll have to wait and see. But Conti in the 5 and Logan Clampett in the 44 that we know they have some long run speed. We'll see how this thing plays out as this time by they'll come back and complete lap number 85 of this one. It looks like for at least your top 5 or so positions, it's fairly calm up in front, but we still see some of those exciting little battles throughout this pack as they work their way around Auto Club.
Yeah, we see a pretty good one going on. Had a slight advantage for the number 2 of Ray Alfala, looking for that 5th spot over Zach Novak. He had a run going into turn number 3, got up alongside the 15 on the bottom, but then just could not complete the pass off of turn number 4. Set him back just a little bit, back to Derek Bordeaux now in that 7th spot. So Ray Alfala trying to get back up in the top 5 as well. He's got a pretty good car in the long run. Just trying to, it's so tough to pass with the older tires, especially when that car on the outside really pinches you down to that white line. Doesn't allow you to get that speed you need coming off the corner as you drift up towards the wall. So it really can bind you down, and then it kills your momentum down the front straightaway. And it was what we saw that last time out of the 2 of Ray Alfala. Sits there nicely, though, in that 6th spot here. 1.5 seconds off of your race leader. Ryan Luza. Continues, though, I might add, Cam, he's pulling away now as we see the guys behind him really fighting for position. The battle for seconds really heating up now as Logan Clampett's gotten in the mix.
Yeah, and I wanted to just pull us up just because I got to confirm this. Just once again, I think every week I got to confirm this myself. This is his first season in the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series. You know, he had a very good car at Las Vegas. I thought he did a wonderful job there. But, you know, you can have a day with a really good car with a weather that's set up and your car just seems to come to you and nothing seems to be able to slow you down. Ryan Michael Luza, he seems to be doing an absolutely fantastic job here, and no pressure, I have to say, is weighed on his shoulders. He's just going out there in that number 1 car, and he is having a good time right now. 6/10, almost 7/10 of a second in the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series on a 2-miler. You just don't really get that, but he has managed it. Bobby Zelensky, he's trying what he can, but he is just slowly falling back. And then Michael Conti, who's in third, almost 1 full second back. Very impressive running from that number 1 car of Ryan Michael Luza.
Yeah, we do remember what Ryan Luza was able to do this past winter in the iRacing Pro Series. Pretty much dominated. Won basically every race he entered. Missed 1 race, and I believe he didn't win the restrictor play race. But other than that, he won every other race that on the 1.5 miles, on the short tracks. He won here at Auto Club in that Pro Series this winter as well too. So he talked about it, and I think we mentioned this last week during the post-race show. He had talked about it during the preseason show that he was coming out to win every single week. So he's been living up to that right now. A good run at Daytona. It wasn't a win, but a strong finish nonetheless. And then now you come out at Vegas, a dominating performance there. And right now, this one stays green. It's going to be tough to catch that 1 car.
But now we have a battle for position number 3. Logan Clampett has caught Michael Conti, and a close call on the front straightaway. Michael Conti slammed the door on Logan Clampett, and now Clampett continues to work the back bumper of car number 5 as they work down the back straightaway. Zelensky just in front of them, and it looks like they're going to come up on lap traffic, as that might be the 90, and Nick Johnston going a lap down. The 44 of Logan Clampett continues to chase down that 5. And it's all a matter now on these old tires of trying to set the run up and make it happen. The 83 way up high at a corner number 4, and hello Conti to the inside. This is now a battle for second, and Michael Conti is going to take the spot, and Logan Clampett looks to the inside of Zelensky as well, as they'll go toe-to-toe into corner number 1 for position number 3. Does the 44 have the run to take the 5 for second?
Momentum was killed for the 83 that last time. Bobby Zelensky off of turn number 4 allowed Conti to get the spot, allowed the 44 Logan Clampett now to get to his inside. Now the battle continues now into turn number 3. Of course, this is exactly what Ryan Luza wants to see. Cam just mentioned that. This is exactly what he wants to see. These guys battling side by side just allows him to stretch the gap out even more. 1.3 seconds the last time by, make it 1.4. This time at the start-finish line. 92 laps now on the board here, in just an outstanding battle we got going on for the second spot. You can add 2 more drivers to this as they were doing that. How about Zach Novak now looking to the outside of the 44, and you got to add the 2, the veteran, Ray Alfalla now into the mix. It's a 5-car battle for second.
Well, and we'd love to see it. And I gotta say, in the last 3 laps, he has gone from 6/10 of a second, still getting draft range, to basically a 1.5 seconds. I'm sure once they cross the start-finish line, his lap times are coming in almost 0.2 of a second faster than the rest of the field as they are sitting behind me. 39.58, 39.6. You got a couple of 5s, but for the most part, they're in the top half of that average. There's no real way they're going to be able to catch up to these to that car. Unless they start doing at least something. Zelensky sliding in behind Michael Conti. He's getting a speed bump from Zach Novak. A little bit of a bump from that Toyota Camry as Ray Alfalla is hovering right behind. Logan Clampett's right there. A very small gap between Derek Bordeaux, who won our opener at Daytona, so even he's getting involved in this. Another rookie making his first run here at the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series. Gotta say, love these pro guys. And, well, here we go. Kenny Humpy's pulling into pits. Cody Bias is pulling into the pits, as well as the car of Marcus Richardson.
Yeah, just ahead of him, the 5 of Michael Conti started it all right there. He'll come down pit road from the second spot. So now the question is going to be for Ryan Luza, how long do you stay out there and let these guys go. Still about 32 laps left to go in this event before it is all said and done. We're at 94 right now. Looks like Logan Clampett's going to come in this lap as well. Does Ryan Luza stay out one more? Does he come down pit road? Looks like he's going to stay out at least one more lap here as he comes off of turn number 4. He'll complete lap number 94 this time. Maybe look at the next lap for the one car to come down pit road. 83 of Bobby Zielinski, Zach Novak, Ray Alfala, Derek Bordeaux, they all stay out along with Alan Bowes as the rest of the drivers now exit pit road here. The 10, you got to remember the 10 came down. He was one of the first ones to come down probably about 8 laps ago, I believe it was. Corey Vincent, and right now he just made his way around the number 5 of Michael Conti, works his way down the back straightaway. He's 1 lap down, but he is one of the first drivers that has pitted. Dylan Duvall has pitted as well too, but those drivers, as far up as they have pitted, it's going to be, they might have the race lead, but when it all cycles through, but they're not going to hang on to it that long. Pit road, though, still getting busy with 4 cars now, almost sliding in together.
Ryan Luza is one of those down on pit road, and we saw the flip-flop of the last green flag run that we had near the start of the race. Luza came down 1 lap before Clampett. Now Clampett on this run comes down 1 lap before Ryan Luza, as it'll hand the lead over to Ray Alfala in car number 2. I believe he may be coming down pit road this time by. So unlike what we saw on the first run of green flag pit stops, it seems like most of the front runners on less staying out a couple more laps. It looks like they're all coming down in a clump and all coming down together. Here's Alfala down in the 2.
So Ray Alfala now down to pit road. Brad Davies will follow him in. Jake Sturgis will stay out on the racetrack. He'll get the lap lead this time. Ryan Lowe comes down pit road as well. Byron Daly's in. Andrew Fayash is in as well too. So most drivers now coming down. Well, it looks like a couple drivers still left out on the racetrack. Kyle Putz in the 31, Jake Sturgis in the 41, and Alex Bergeron in the number 12 as well too, still out on the racetrack. Other than that, it looks like the majority of everybody's come down pit road. We'll let it cycle through a little bit more here. A couple more laps will give us a better idea, but it looks like the majority of our lead lap cars have come down and made what could be their final stop of the night.
Very well could be. I have to say, very interesting thing to note here. The last pit stop from Alex Bergeron was a 2-tire pit stop. So that was the one that was under caution. So I'm surprised that he hasn't come in earlier. And his stint length right now, where he's already ran about 31 laps, which is a fairly good bite for those tires, I'd have to say. We'll see, I think just about everybody has taken the 4-tire option. Yeah, I don't think anybody would ever dare risk to take 2 under green flag conditions. But yeah, so you've got Alex Bergeron right now, Chris Overland, and Brian Blackford, I believe, going all the way down to Corey Vincent, who was your first car to pit on lap 85, almost a full 10 laps earlier than Michael Conti, who has actually managed to come out ahead of him. So interesting strategy from Corey Vincent. I think Michael Conti's got the right one.
Yeah, at least for the time being, he's got the right one. Alex Bergeron, though, continuing to show the way on the older tires right now. Stays out on the racetrack. About to get overtaken by a couple lap down machines right now. The 25, the 05, and Nick Ottinger. Those drivers will make their way around him. How long does the 12 of Alex Bergeron stay out? Does he wait for that all-elusive caution flag to come out here to save him, basically, at this point? Give him some track position. He had been running deep into the field here the majority of the night, so we'll see where all that shakes out. Corey Vincent, though, with as you mentioned, came in about 10 laps before these other drivers. He currently now is trying to fight his way to stay amongst what would be the top 5 right now. Logan Clampett and the one of Ryan Luza were able to get around him, so he lost 2 more spots that time there. But Michael Conti, what would be the race leader when everything cycles out through here, right now he only sits about a second or so ahead of that one of Ryan Luza. It's only 1 lap difference. It doesn't seem like much, but you know that one car's got a lot of speed under it.
Nolan Scott came down pit road to surrender position number 4, so it leaves Bergeron, Overland, and Blackford your top 3, and those are the drivers that have stayed out on the racetrack. And I think the only strategy that they would hope for, as you mentioned, Andy, is hoping for a caution. When we went green, you can do it on one stop to the end, but everybody has to come down pit road. So Bergeron out in front, hoping for maybe a caution flag, and you would think when he gets gobbled up by seconds a lap, not tenths a lap, he's getting gobbled up by seconds a lap on those new tires, you'd have to believe that he might want to come down pit road in these next couple laps as the 12 car comes up out of corner number 4. He will complete lap 101, and he will do so on the racetrack.
Yeah, so 25 laps left to go right now for your race leader, Alex Bergeron. Stays out another lap right now. He can probably get around another 10 or so laps here on fuel right now, so why not get some TV time, get some lead and lap time there for that number 12, the rookie in the series, Alex Bergeron. Chris Overland as well, staying out on the racetrack, not making up any time on the 12 as well. Chris Overland, of course, a couple, I believe it was that round of green flag pit stops when we had that caution towards the tail end of them. Chris Overland ended up being caught out one lap down. He had to wait for a wave around, so his strategy was so off of the basically of everybody else's. So nothing to lose, I think, right now for the 47 of Chris Overland. So to stay out right now, he's not really losing too much. He's going to actually pull into the pits this time by off of turn number 4 as the 12 continues to stay out. Michael Conti, though, under pressure from the 1, Ryan Luza, to the inside now through 3 and 4.
Yeah, Luza, wherever the speed he came up with, I think he drafted off of the lapped car of Cody Bias, or the car that was getting up to speed, I guess I should say, of Cody Bias, and he was able to pull right up behind him and swing right across. So Ryan Michael Luza, he is going to be your provisional leader once Alex Bergeron comes onto pit lane. He's the only car left. He has got about a minute and 22-second gap between him and Ryan Michael Luza. He might want to start thinking about making that trip down to pit lane. Alex Bergeron's last pit stop was all the way back on lap 69, which I believe was our yellow flag pit stop, because of course this is the first run of it since we came off of yellow, which means Alex Bergeron is on definitely, I think this is the longest we have seen anybody on tires at this point.
Yeah, almost about 40 laps now it's been for that driver, the number 12 right now. Holds about an 18-second gap, but that's closing about 1.5 to 2 seconds every lap they stay out on the racetrack. Bergeron stay out another lap. He'll lead 104 as well as Luza continues to pull away now from the 5. Logan Clampett trying to get around Michael Conti as quick as possible. That's the only way he's going to have a shot to catch Ryan Luza before this thing's all said and done. And right now he's on that back bumper as they work back down the front stretch.
Luza continues to occupy position number 2, and I've kept my eye on Bergeron, and that thing that he is driving is currently a handful. He nearly lost it the last time out of corner number 4, trying to maintain the pace that he is. Lost about 2 seconds on the lead the last lap by, and Bergeron will once again stay out on the racetrack, but the battle continues to rage on for position number 3. It's Logan Clampett on the back bumper of Michael Conti. Conti now to the outside. Logan Clampett puts his car towards the inside. Looks like we're going to have a little two-way dance for position number 3 as they come up at a corner number 4. The 5 car continues to hold the advantage and slices down in front of the 44.
Talk about cutting the momentum off right there. Michael Conti all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack, right in front of Logan Clampett. Continuing to run that high line, almost a third lane up through these corners here. It's been working for the 5 of Michael Conti. Everybody else has been right down on that white line, but Michael Conti doing a great job on that outside. He'll continue the side-by-side battle for the second spot. The outside lane's giving him enough momentum. The problem is how long can he keep it up before the 44 just gets enough and gets around him for that position. Conti, though, stretches it out just a little bit off of turn number 4. He'll be right there, and he actually clears him completely. He'll drop back down in front, and he'll hold on to that second spot, or well, I should say third spot could be the second spot, as Alex Bergeron continues to stay out on the racetrack and lead some laps here as we got under 20 to go.
Now Michael Conti in his Chevrolet SS, he's managing to make that high side work, and I believe it's because the track is starting to come in. The rubber's being laid down around lap 107. Plenty of time for these 43 cars to put down the rubber and pick it up and move it around. That high line, I think, is starting to come into its own. It's not to say that the bottom line isn't effective anymore. I still say the bottom line is the preferred line, but just looking at the single car runnings from Kenny Humpy all the way on back to Ray Alfala, everyone seems to be holding this hybrid middle line right now, whereas Logan Clampett was diving well to the inside. I think these guys might start trying to save their tires because, well, if this ends up going green all the way through, you've got to have something for the end of the race.
Yeah, you got to just watch the 44 Logan Clampett through 1 and 2 that last time. A very high entry, a very late dive to the bottom of the racetrack, but gave him a huge run of momentum down the back straightaway. Able to get around or get to the inside of Michael Conti once again. The problem is he can't push up. Oh, a little push up there from the 5. Michael Conti almost in the wall, had to break the momentum just a bit. Give that second spot now back to Logan Clampett. I keep saying second spot because I keep forgetting Alex Bergeron's still out there on the racetrack right now, trying to hang on to what I know he can't make it to the end, but he's doing everything he can now. It's about 9 seconds back from Ryan Luza. Logan Clampett, though, up to that third spot there, what would be the second spot, and he's starting to pull away now from Michael Conti.
As Alex Bergeron comes up at a corner number 4, he will lead lap 109. And if this thing gets a caution, let's say, in the next 5 laps to shake everything up, it's a brilliant move by Bergeron. But as you mentioned, he can't go all the way on the fuel unless we miscalculated up here. He's going to need to stop before the end of this race in the next 16 laps or so. Luza in second, Clampett third, and he's starting to pull away from Conti. And look at Kenny Humpy making his way up into the top 5. He sits in 5th. His teammate right behind him, though, has his hands completely full. Chalnier trying to get by Bias. That would be the battle for position number 6, and one of the closest battles on the racetrack, or at least within the top 6 or 7 or so, as they go at it down into corner number 3.
Yeah, some great battles going all over the place right now in the closing laps of this one. And of course, this portion of tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Blue Def, the official diesel exhaust fluid and DEF equipment of NASCAR. Some great battles. How about Ray Alfalla all the way back after these green flag pit stops, dropped back below the top 10 after running top 5 all night long. Right now, having some problems trying to get around that 15 to Zach Novak, trying to get himself up in there before the end of this thing, get up in the top 10. He's got a few cars in front of him if he can get the job done. It's just right now, it just seems everybody done some great job of making some changes. It makes it hard to beat, or hard to catch, or hard to pass here late in the going as well. Logan Clampett doing everything he possibly can to try to catch Ryan Luza. Just doesn't look like it's going to happen. Ryan Luza has that thing on cruise control as he's starting to really close in now on Alex Bergeron as he still continues to stay out here on lap number 112. Just 4.8 seconds back till you get to that 1 car.
Yeah, at this point, I would just stay out until you're almost out of fuel. I mean, no matter what you do, you're going to be a lap down. You might as well risk it and just roll it and go for it. As Luza, I think he's going to be catching. He's catching about 1.5 seconds a lap, which means about 3 laps. Luza should be passed and away and cleared of Alex Bergeron. So Ryan Michael Luza, he's looking to take control of this race. So once again, around lap 112 or 125, and here comes Bergeron right now. Just as I say that, I still think I would have waited a little longer because at this point, it really was.
Might not have been able to.
Well, maybe.
Might have been out of fuel at this point. I mean, he's been out there since lap 69, I think you said it was. So that's about a 45 lap run right there. That's about all I think they can do on a full tank. So give him credit for that, being able to hang on to that thing with those old tires like that. Alex Bergeron doing what he could there to open for what could be a late race caution, which could have changed everything for him in that one. Ryan Luza, though, will take over that race lead, Tim, and Logan Clampett 1.1 back. Depending on a caution here, I think Ryan Luza's got this thing sewed up.
Yeah, the last couple of laps, it's been Ryan Luza just a touch quicker than Logan Clampett. Last lap by for Luza was a 39.13 to a 39.20 for Logan Clampett. So Ryan Luza just a touch quicker than the second place driver, Logan Clampett. And Clampett continues to pull away from Michael Conti in position at number 3. One of the faster cars within the top 5, maybe besides Ryan Luza, might be Chalnier in position number 5. He's got about 1 second or so to catch Kenny Humpy in position number 4. If this thing stays green, he may be able to do that, and Kenny Humpy in turn is catching Michael Conti in car number 5. So we might have a battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th on our hands as this thing winds down to the end. But look at the battle for position number 6. Oh boy, Bias, Zielinski, Bordeaux, Novak, Ray Alfalla. We have a 5-car pack, and these guys are going at it with 11 laps to go.
That they are working on that 11th lap right now to go here. The 27 of Cody Bias to the inside. Zielinski trying to use the high side. They'll still continue side-by-side action, 2 rows deep. How about it? 3 wide. Derek Bordeaux now drops way down to the bottom. He'll go to the inside of Cody Bias. He'll look to make up, how about 2 spots? That corner right there is Derek Bordeaux, Daytona winner here a couple weeks ago. He's looking to make up some ground here late in the going. He's going to slip up there off of turn number 4. And all that hard work and all those spots he got going to come up with just just that short right now. He's going to have to battle side by side with Cody Bias as now Ray Alfalla looks to the inside of Zach Novak for what would be that 7th spot.
Now, I gotta say, the outside's definitely worn in at this point. They seem to be able to hold that a lot longer now on the outside with a lot more speed, too, as Derek Bordeaux a little drifting up and down, up and down. Not sure if he got loose and he's just taking a long way around to collect it. He's going to have Cody Bias on his outside, so they're going to continue to push right on through the Bobby Zelensky, Zach Novak, Ray Alfalla. Bordeaux's going to slide in there. I think he'd be happy with the top 10. But obviously anything you can get you would want to rather than risk wrecking the car. Bergeron, though, he's recovered his lap, but obviously too little too late, as he is not going to get anywhere even remotely close, I don't think, to the cars in front of him. But Ryan Michaeluza, Logan Clampett, they're running just about the exact same lap times. They both ran 39.3s that last time by.
The two now, Ray Alfalla looking still to get that spot away from Zach Novak. Dives it hard into turn number 3. He's got the advantage just before they exit turn number 4. Can he hang on to it before this thing goes here, as we got 8 laps left to go here as they cross the start-finish line this time. Alfalla got some speed to get up alongside the 83 of Bobby Zelensky as well, too, now before they head back to turn number 1.
Zach Novak push that 83 down into corner number 1 and now takes a look to the inside. Great run for Novak. Can he put it anywhere down the back straightaway on the inside of the 83? He tucks up tight behind him. The 2 of Alfalla there as well. Keep a half eye on the battle in front of them. Michael Conti in position number 3 has Kenny Humpy right behind him, but they have company in Chalner in car number 78. He's been up and down throughout this race, but the 78 has poured on the pressure these last few laps. He's looking at the back of the 5 and the 58.
Yeah, he's definitely poured on the pressure. How about Kenny Humpy? What a fantastic run for him this early in the season. Kenny Humpy trying to get the job done here late in the going to get that top 3 before this thing's over. He's trying to do it, but Chalner says, nope, I want that 4th spot right now as he looks to the inside off of turn number 2. And don't look now because that 2 of Ray Alfalla is actually pulling away from those guys. And caution's out here
28
late.
cars on its roof. Car of Casey Tucker and Josh Berry were involved in that one, and it looks to me like Casey Tucker just started riding right up the track. I think that car got far too tight, drove it in way too deep. I'd have to say, car in front of him was already down to about 170 rate when Casey Tucker at that point was much faster. He started breaking it up, went up the track, and there he goes, up and over.
All right, hold your breath, Tim. We're going to get a restart, whether it's 1 lap or 2 lap or what it's going to be here. This is going to be absolute. You thought it was a great restart earlier in the race. How about what we're going to see here? And now the question is, what do you do? I mean, obviously these guys have been out here for a long time, almost 30 laps now. You got to want tires, but at the same time, do guys outside the top 10 say only 2, stay out? I mean, this is going to be an interesting call here for everybody.
If we go green and we get maybe a half lap in and then the caution flies, you don't really have a whole lot of time to make up any ground. It's a difficult decision. If I'm up front and I'm trying to win a race, I'm staying out and hoping maybe a quick caution comes out. Ryan Luza comes by pit road this time. He's definitely staying out on the racetrack. Couple of fakes thrown behind him. Logan Clampett. Michael Conti is coming into pit road. And the 5 might be the only one in the top 5. Bias and Bose also going to head down pit road. It's a tough call to make. If we get a 2-lap restart and we get a half lap in and the caution flag flies, then it's a tough call. If we get a 1-lap restart, then we're going to make that whole lap. I agree with what Michael Conti and Cody Bias and a couple of those guys did out back, but they weren't joined by a whole lot of other drivers on pit road. I like the call by those guys that are staying out in front.
Yeah, listen, I think as the leader, you have to stay out. Like you said, we get the green flag. If it's 1 or 2 laps, a quick yellow, it's over. So even if you come out 5th or 6th, you have no opportunity really to make up any ground. So I think for Luza, he had to stay out, honestly. Even if everybody came into pit, you had to stay out as the leader. It was really the choice of everybody behind. And I think for Luza, the amount of guys that did stay out, that's a good thing for him because he doesn't have to worry about the guys with 4 tires with only about a lap, maybe 2 on green.
it almost looked like everyone was completely committed to going in, but once Clampett saw Luza, he made a very sharp turn, and once they saw Clampett making that sharp turn, pretty much half of the field immediately started careening back onto the track, so good reaction from them. For the most part, I'd have to say, I think the people who wanted tires just came in no matter what and got their tires. This is going to be interesting here because obviously new tires are going to be far better, but nobody up here has new tires. We haven't really had any of these starts on truly used tires. As Ryan Michaeluza, he's dumping the clutch and he's throwing the throttle. He is trying to burn as much fuel, get as much weight off of his chassis as possible. And, well, I guess when you're trying to come home with a victory here in the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, nothing is going to stop you, not even a little bit of weight of fuel.
You got to do whatever you got to do, really, to do this. And, it's going to come down to the start. And we know that the driver leading the thing has the control on the restart, so it's going to be all about what kind of start Luza can get here. We're going to take a look through the field here, try to see where everybody who did come down to pit. We know Michael Conti was the first one to come down to pit. It looks like everything cycled through. It looks like he's going to be about 17th here on the restart. So a top 10, if it stays green the last couple laps, might be in the situation for the 5 of Michael Conti. Other than that, that's going to be about it for that driver there. For everybody else, this is, hey, listen, it was a good call to stay out, obviously, because as many guys that did. But for the guys that are, 15th to about 10th, you got to be pretty, holding your breath here that there is a quick caution because you're going to have some 4-tire guys breathing down your neck before this thing is over. So at least for the top 5, top 6, top 7, they're probably breathing a little sigh of relief that they're not going to have to worry about guys with 4 tires here at the end of this thing here. So Ryan Luza, a big deep breath done by that driver there, knowing that he's got a big cushion behind him before this thing goes back green.
I mentioned off the top of the show, we've had 2 races and we've had 2 first-time winners. Chalner in the 78, Zielinski in the 83, but Zach Novak in the 15, Marcus Richardson, Blake Reynolds all run in the top 10. There's 5 of your top 10 that have never won a race in this series that are looking to continue that streak. For Ryan Luza, we've never had a repeat winner in this series at Auto Club Speedway. Kenny Humpy and Ray Alfala, 2 of the top 5, have been into victory lane before. The only other winner, Nick Ottinger, runs back in position number 11. Ryan Luza holds command up in front. You believe that he's going to get a good start, but if he somehow spins his tires, because they all are on older tires, it could be the opportunity for Logan Clampett to make a move. But you look at experience in this series, you got it on the inside in Kenny Humpy, and you got it on the inside in Ray Alfala right behind Ryan Luza. This restart is going to be wild. It's going to be the final restart of this race, and it could shake up the lineup in the remaining 2 laps that we have to a checkered flag.
All right, Cam, do we see 3 wide before turn 1?
I think Luza's probably going to hold the field just a smidgen, and then he's going to go, and I think that is going to result people really do diving. Now, let's hope nobody ends up picking up a penalty. We'd hate to see that, but once they get once they start coming out of 2, I have a feeling this backstretch is going to get very, very narrow.
Oh, it absolutely will be. I think corner exit's going to be awfully fun to watch off of turn number 2 this first time by. It looks like we're going to have 2 laps to go here when we get the green flag. So just 2 laps. Does it stay green? Do we have a caution to end this thing here this evening? Michael Conti going to restart on the inside lane, way back in 17th spot. So we'll see what he can do before this thing's over. Pace car now down to pit road, a stack up of the field for the 1 of Ryan Luza. He hits the gas pedal. He's off and away. It stacks everybody up about 6th, 7th on back. He gets about a 2-car length gap now as they head back into turn 1.
If Luza can hit his marks, he'll likely come home with a 2nd straight victory in this series, but the battle is for 2nd and 3rd on back. Humpy to the inside of Chalner. Here comes the 83 of Zielinski looking to make something happen. Your top 2 have got away from the rest of the field. They drag race side by side down the back straightaway. Zielinski trying to make something happen. Caution flag flies.
Problems in the back off of turn number 2, exactly what we thought about. Some 5-wide action with guys like Michael Conti trying to make your way up through the field. Just ran out of real estate for all those drivers. Caution, white flag will show this time as well for the driver of the number 1 of Ryan Luza. One more time around this racetrack to pick up his 2nd career victory and his 2nd win in as many weeks. We'll set the replay up on your screen right there, but How about that? 5 wide off turn 2, Cam.
I don't think it was ever really going to work very well, but the problem was that the 5 wide wasn't even the problem. I think what ended up happening is the number 40 of Jimmy Mullis, he hung way too high to the outside. Perhaps the tires getting the better of him, or perhaps the car just got a little tight on exit, and David Rattler, he ended up having nowhere to go, and once he had nowhere to go, Alan Bowes tried to go around, he had nowhere to go. Now, it almost it worked. They almost just went to the inside, and that would have been it, but unfortunately, that 09 ended up staying in the lane just a little too long, and ended up collecting cars left and right, and once they started wrecking, people started trying to evade. This was a massive one to finish out this race at Auto Club Speedway.
And that it does is finish this one out under the caution flag here, as the white and the caution wave right now. And off of turn number 4, Ryan Luza looking for career win number 2. And is that many weeks? As it comes down to the start-finish line, it's going to be just that. Ryan Luza will win here at Auto Club Speedway with Logan Clampett right there in his bumper, and a great finish for the number 78 of Christian Calvin.
And you look back through the field, you have Kenny Humpy, former series champion, finishing in the top 5 in 4th. Derek Bordeaux, your winner from Daytona, finishes up in 6th. Ray Alfala, 7th. Some guys with some great runs. Michael Conti was the first driver to pit on that final caution for new tires. He will finish in position number 12, so it's a 5-spot net gain, but it's still not where he was prior to that caution flag coming out. So you had some excitement in the pit strategy, but at the end of it, it is Ryan Luza's second straight and second career win in the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series. You better believe he's going to be happy. And oh, by the way, the guy that was up there with him in the point standings, Logan Clampett, it's going to finish in second. It's going to mean an even tighter point battle heading forward in the next couple of races, heading towards the first chase in this series.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting fun to watch here in about 8 races, I should say. I was about to say 8 weeks, but it's going to be about 16 weeks from now here. But a couple weeks off, of course, a new build coming for these guys next week, or actually tomorrow, which means they got an extra week here involved, 2 weeks till we go to Texas Motor Speedway. For these guys to get set up and try to figure out this new build and the 2017 no downforce package for these cars as well. So these guys have a lot of work to do over the next couple of weeks. And as Ryan Luza burns them down on the front straightaway, let's take a look at our full field results right here. Ryan Luza picking up the victory, second straight for him. Logan Clampett, a second place finish for him. We'll keep him second in points. Christian Challoner will get a great finish here tonight in 3rd. Kenny Humpy, a great job from 23rd all the way to 4th here to finish this one out. Bobby Zielinski will round out your top 5. Derek Bordeaux finishes in the 6th spot. 7th goes to Ray Alfala. Blake Reynolds will finish in 8th. 9th goes to Zach Novak. And Marcus Richardson from 25th. He'll finish 10th.
Nick Ottinger will drop 20 positions off where he started, coming home in 11th position. Michael Conti following behind after a very good day. Wasn't the ending he wanted, comes home in 12th. Johnny Mullis in 13th. Brad Davies 14th. Kyle Putz will come home in 15th. Dylan Duvall in 16th. Andrew Fayosh III come home in 17th. In 18th, it'll be Corey Vincent. 19th, Timmy Hill. And in 20th position, it will be Will Cooley.
Joe Letteriello will come home in position number 21. 22 will be Alex Bergeron, led a lot of laps late. Hope that caution flag came out just about 5 laps sooner. He finishes in 22nd. 23rd is Chris Overland. Brian Blackford in 24th. Byron Daly 25th. Jake Nichols 26th. Cody Bias was running up front early, had a top 5 run going, but will come home with 27th. Adam Gilliland 28th. Alan Bowes 29th. And Chris Shearburn completes your top 30.
Finishing last car on the lead lap tonight in 31st. It's going to be the 09 of David Rattler. 2 laps down in 32nd will be Brandon Schmidt. Ryan Lowe will finish 33rd. Jake Sturgis and PJ Sturgis will finish 34th and 35th. Not what those guys wanted. Also 2 laps down. 36, 3 laps down will be Michael Johnston. Casey Tucker will finish 37th. 38th goes to Nolan Scott. Nicholas Johnson will finish 39th. 40th goes to Josh Berry. And then Brian Schoenberg, Philip Diaz, and Mitchell Hunt will round out the 43-car field here tonight. A fantastic one we had here at Auto Club. A lot of green flag laps and a lot of quick little stints there towards the end of this one. It came out on top for the number 1 of Ryan Luza. He picks up the victory. We'll talk to him and the rest of the top 5 here in just a moment for the post-race show right here on RaceSpotTV, and we'll do that in just a moment. Welcome you back here to Auto Club Speedway. Just completed round number 3 of the 2017 NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, powered by iRacing, right here on RaceSpotTV, and for all our friends on Facebook Live, Fans Choice TV, and the Motor Racing Network. What a fantastic one we had here tonight. Just an outstanding race. A good job again done by Ryan Luza, back-to-back weeks, picking up his second career win in this many weeks. And he does just that. We'll hope to talk to him in just a moment. But first, we'll head down to pit lane, and we got Logan Clampett, and he's standing by now with Tim Terry.
And it's Logan Clampett coming home with position number 2 here this evening. And Logan, I know it's not the position that you wanted. I know you wanted to get P1, but what was going through your mind on that final restart, trying to get that first place position?
Oh man, I mean, I was just looking for a P2 there, aiming for P1. I wanted to try and get a jump on Ryan and get to his outside, since the outside line was working pretty well there throughout the race. And that might have been my only shot, but he got clear of me entering turn 1, and just couldn't quite get to him there those last 2 laps.
Looking at the long run, it looked like on the first run of the race, you might have had a little bit better car than Ryan did on the long run, but he came down pit road 1 lap before you, and then it's almost like you forced his hand on the second round of green flag pit stops with you pitting 1 lap before he did. The car was really good on the long run.
It was really, really good on the long run there. I think if it weren't for traffic and those restarts and stuff, since he was kind of getting more lucky, getting through the traffic easily, and I think if it weren't for that, I might have had a shot to get him there towards the end during that last run until that caution came out.
We saw it in this series last year, and obviously there is a chase to this series this year. But as the series went on, the season went on, we had some drivers fall out of contention near the top of the pile. You and Ryan lose a back and forth, tied coming in. He's going to take the point lead coming out of this one. But are you thinking points knowing that there is a chase coming up this season, or are you just trying to keep up there and trying to keep your sights on Luza?
Actually, both. I want to try and stay near him, just to kind of, maintain a decent range for the points lead there, and of course to try and stay into the top 8. But if I keep getting these finishes, I'm gonna just want to go for wins, possibly if I lock myself into the top 8 early or something, if I'm pretty confident that I'll make that first round of the chase.
Texas coming up in 2 weeks. Is it a track that Logan Clampitt can win at and get that first win of the season?
Oh man, I'm hoping that's actually where I started my first peak race and got a top 5 my first race actually. So looking to improve that and get a win there, and hopefully get more closer to losing that points lead.
Last question before we let you go. New colors on the car this week. JDR graphics on this race car. Who else makes it happen for you?
NX Racing, we worked hard this week to try and get that win, and we came so close. And of course, as always, Galeforce Racing, as we're teamed up with them, they work pretty hard too. And welcome back Nick from his surgery. Glad to see he got a top 15 there, and of course JDR Graphics for being on the hood tonight. Racer Boost for being a secondary sponsor, the Drill Spill, and then our team sponsors, which are iAnalyze, SimLab, and V Racing. Big shout outs to them. They support us pretty well. Couldn't do it without them.
That's Logan Clampitt coming home in position number 2. One of those drivers, Andy, that was up front for most of the night, but just at the end of the race could not solve Ryan Luza, as Ryan Luza goes to victory lane for a second time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Did a great job getting up there, and he did battle for that race lead. At one point there, was able to catch Ryan Luza, able to get around him that one time, but after that, it was the one car, the show all night long here. Ryan Luza able to capitalize. Their team, Simworks Racing, how about it? All 3 wins so far this season, with Derek Bordeaux winning at Daytona, and now it's been back-to-back for Ryan Luza. Ryan, congratulations, man. This was a good one. It seemed a little bit, strategy went off a little bit there. Found yourself a little bit outside the top 5 for a little bit, but it didn't take long. You found your way back to the front, and you were able to hang on to it.
Yeah, the race was a little wacky with the way the cautions fell. Just me and Clampitt made sure we kept our nose clean, and worked our way back up. I think we clearly had the best 2 cars. He may have been a little better, but I got the track position a little earlier, so great race to him. He did a great job, and it was interesting with that last caution. I was sweating. If it went green, we were definitely losing the race just because of how fast the new tires were, but luckily that caution came out like we were banking on. Like, the odds are really, really bad for that to go green, so we just banked on the caution coming out, and it paid off.
Yeah, I think the biggest benefit was the fact when you looked in your rearview mirror and you saw how many cars stayed out, and I believe it was like 17 or 16, something like that. Cars actually stayed out, so that gave you a huge cushion. I think even with the 2 laps, you might have been all right there, but nonetheless, it's one of those things as the leader, when you're knowing you're only going to have a couple laps left, you have to stay out, basically. You have to keep your track position, because if you pit, you're going to be the only one. Somebody else is going to stay out. So it was a great call. You had to make it. You stayed out, able to pull out the victory here tonight. Back-to-back wins for you now, and this sets up an off week now. Finally, you guys raced 3 weeks in a row. We'll call it 4 with the extra Daytona race, but you guys raced 3 weeks back-to-back, and now you got 2 wins in a row. You get that extra week, but you got a new build coming. It's going to be a busy couple weeks for you.
Oh, it's going to be real busy. Dirt's coming out tomorrow, so I know all of us are going to be spending a ton of time on that, so it's going to be really hard to balance our time with dirt and then figuring out these new setups. So really, really tough. Going to be a lot of iRacing time in the next 2 weeks, and hopefully we get this new build figured out and we can continue the speed we got. But who knows? There could be a huge jumble up at the top of the standings.
There absolutely could be. How important then does that make this back-to-back win for you? These first 3 starts, the points lead now officially coming out of this race here over Logan Clampett. How important does that make those races, knowing this build could change everything?
Oh, it's real important just to capitalize on, you know, the runs you have when you know you're going to be fast, when you know what works with setups, and now we know nothing. We have no people on Alpha, so that's kind of a bummer, but, you know, we're going to work real hard, and I'm really confident we'll find our way back up, you know, at least contending, hopefully top 5s. So we put ourselves in that position with the points lead. We can just, you know, now just be consistent and, you know, see what we can do.
Well, that's all you can ask for. You've done the job so far this season here, picking up your second career win in as many weeks, and you were able to get that done here at Auto Club Speedway with the most laps led as well, Ryan. Congratulations. Sponsor shout-outs. Who helps you get it done with that one car?
Got to thank everybody at SimWorks. Really cool for us to be taking home the 3 races so far, so really, really cool. Working with Dead Zone as well, so thanks to everybody over there. Got to thank Dustin Lingert for crewing. Just a huge team effort today. Everybody ran well. I think we got a 6th, the 8th, and Bose, you know, went for the pit on the 4 tires and didn't make it through. Got to thank sponsors for coming on board. Got to thank Racer Boost Graphic Solutions again. Really cool one too for Racer Boost with me and Clampett, so that's cool. They do a bunch of good hero cards for real racers, even some, you know, sim racers are doing that as well. So websites as well. Got to thank Fast Track Sims for coming on board. A bunch of sim racing equipment. Check them out. Full rigs. Actually, he's building a ton of dirt late model rigs for this dirt release, so that's going to be really cool for them. And thanks to the Drill Spill for coming on board as well.
There you have it. Congratulations again, Ryan, and we look forward to seeing you at Texas and hopefully keep the speed up.
Thanks, Andy. Thank you, guys.
So there you have it. Back-to-back wins for the number 1 of Ryan Luza. Goes out of here with the points lead and goes out of here with a second checkered flag of the season as well. But I'll tell you what, it was very hard-earned, and he did it tonight and did a great job of that. Christian Chowder, though, a great finish for him in the 3rd spot. Didn't look good early on there, Cam, but he was able to pull it through when it counted.
Absolutely, and a fairly good run for that One-Up Motorsports number 78 Chevrolet SS. Christian, take me through your day here at Auto Club. It seemed like there were a lot of little phases, and if you weren't on top of it, you were sliding right on back, came home in 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, we qualified pretty good. I'm not normally very good when it comes to the qualifying, so I was pretty happy to start 9th. I thought we would run pretty good, but anytime I was on the bottom of the track, I just couldn't make it work. Like, I had to use the whole track, otherwise my car would it wouldn't turn. But we got some awesome adjustments on it, and we were back in it at the end. We got really lucky on that caution, but I mean, we've been on the wrong side of that a couple of times too, so we'll take it.
Yeah, now, obviously, you guys had stayed out. You guys made the call to stay out, and it looked like it was definitely the right one. When you were coming with 2 to go, coming to that checkered flag, I mean, there was a lot of pressure going on. What did you plan when you were starting back there, when they were coming across the green on that final restart on the outside?
Well, first I was just really trying to get it away good, and once I saw that we had a little bit of a lead on the bottom lane from sort of 3rd on back, I kind of felt at that point we just kind of had to drive it into 1 and hope that it would stick on the outside, and it just about did. And then on the back straight, the caution came out. So yeah, again we got pretty lucky there, because I'm not sure I would have held on to that if we'd have made it all the way to 3 and 4.
Yeah, I know. It was a very busy day as far as pit stops go. We had quite a couple of cautions, but then we also had those 2 green flag pit stops. You seem to have good entries, good exits all throughout the race, but it's got to be extremely tricky, especially on a track here like Auto Club and on those old tires, trying to come in under green flag and then you're making sure that you're hitting your limits on the yellow. I think this race probably challenged just about every single bit a road racer, a racer in the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series could be challenged by.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's actually not too bad getting onto pit road, because you've got quite a big sort of run in. But especially if guys have already pitted before you and you're trying to navigate in between them, that makes that a whole lot more difficult. And winding it up on the bottom of the track before you sort of slingshot back out of 2 is really tough. I saw, I think it was Dylan Duval who got a little bit loose coming out of his pit one lap. He was pretty sideways on the apron trying to get it out.
All right, next week we're going to Texas, or the week after next week, we finally get a break for once. The week after next week, we're going to head our way to Texas. You're going to be excited about that?
I'm excited about it because we're getting the whole car update, and I think that's really gonna throw everything up in the air, which is, seems a bit strange to be saying that because we've had some really good runs with this package, but I kind of like that it's heading in a more realistic direction, and I think that'll be cool. For sure it's going to shake up the order, I think, so it'll be interesting. It's not really my favourite track, if I'm honest. I'm not a big fan of these quad ovals, but neither was Auto Club, and we did pretty good.
Yeah, and, well, Christian, anybody gets it done for you before we let you loose?
Just a big shout out to Hersingveld Engineering for sponsoring the car. I think we've really done them proud with the TV time we've been getting, especially being at the front. Nightfox Designs for painting the car. Ianalyze Racing for continuing to sponsor us after the Pro Series. And biggest shout out, I guess, really goes to Jason Miller, Sam Rash, Marcus Richardson, everyone at One Up for building such great cars, and hopefully we can keep that going.
Thank you, Christian. That's Christian Challoner, the 78 Chevrolet SS, coming home in the 3rd position here today. And I believe we are next going to go to Kenny Humpy, who is going to be joining us here with Tim Terry.
Kenny Humpy coming home with a top 5 finish here this evening, finishing in position at number 4. And Kenny, let's talk about the race, because we didn't talk about you a whole lot during the start, but you poured it on at the end, and when the long run came in, you came home with that 4th place position.
Yeah, definitely a really strong car by Cody Bias and Justin Bolton and everybody at the team who put their effort into it. We were really quick on the long runs, and the strategy and everything just kind of played into our hands, and we were able to come away with that top 5. I know we started deep in the pack, and early in the race it was really hard to pass people, but we played some nice strategy. Chad Lawton made some good calls up on the pit box there, and we were able to come away with a solid top 5, which is good.
Long run and coming towards the end, and then the caution flag flies. What were you thinking on that last restart coming to the finish?
Well, I felt like we were sitting in a pretty good position. There was a lot of cars that stayed out behind us, and I think there was a pretty good gap back to the guys who had pitted and gotten tires. So, and since we had 2 laps to go there coming to the green flag, kind of figured there would either be a wreck or something. Might add a yellow, and we did, and we were able to salvage a top 5 out of it. But just enough people stayed out there on that last restart that the guys with fresh tires weren't probably going to be able to climb as high as to be able to pass us guys up towards the front, and we made a good call and stayed out there and was able to come away with the top 5.
Now, rolling forward here, obviously with Daytona going the way it did, we have a chase format now in this series. How excited are you about a chase format, and can you get your way up there and try to vie for your 2nd championship in the series?
Yeah, I mean, that's what this top 5 run, it kind of builds momentum. I missed Daytona, so I couldn't make it there, and then we had some problems at Vegas. I got into the wall pretty early, racing around some people. So, this is a good run, and first run that I get the top 5 with the Simcraft guys on board. Proud to have those guys, and can't thank those guys enough for sponsoring us as a team this year. It's pretty cool, but yeah, I hope this can kind of get that ball rolling, and we can start knocking off some good finishes here and try to get back up there. I see I'm like 26 right now, and I know they got the drop week factored in. That's without the drop. So, as bad as the season started so far, we're sitting okay. I think if we can just kind of build off of this momentum and kind of continue on, get a string of top 5s and compete for some wins, which I think we could have tonight. I know that losing those guys, they stayed out of no extra lap, and I kind of was able to leapfrog some guys by pitting just a few laps early. But I think either way, that strategy would have worked out, and we would have finished in the top 10. But it worked out even better, and we were able to finish in the top 5. So if we can keep that luck like that and continue to have runs like we did here tonight, and Cody Bias and Justin Bolton and everybody that sets these cars up, and we get the new build next week. So I think we'll be pretty good with it, and we got the best guys coming up with these setups. So, I don't see a problem climbing our way back through and at least contending to get in the chase. But, hopefully we can make it.
You mentioned my next thing. Dirt comes out tomorrow, and I'm sure you guys are going to have some fun with that. But as you mentioned, the new rules package comes out tomorrow. When does the work start for the next race at Texas?
I would say as soon as the iRacing website comes on and we all get it downloaded, and probably tomorrow night we'll be on there working on our Texas setup. You have to get such a jump on these guys. All these guys are so good. Everybody's real fast, and any little edge you can get, especially with the new build. This is always like this. If you can get that little edge on these guys and just have, that half a tenth on somebody going into the race, you can run with it and make some good things happen. So, all the guys on the team, like I said, Cody Bias and Bolton, they're the best at it. So I don't see a problem. We'll have fun with the dirt when we can, but I think the priority number one is getting this Monster Energy Cup car driving good and competing here in the Peak Series.
Before we let you go, you mentioned Simcraft, and I know you mentioned some of the team members. I know you got some great guys like Kevin King and Ed Birch that work on the background. Who makes it happen for this whole team each and every week?
Well, like you said, Ed Birch and Kevin King. They're the staple of the team, and they keep this thing rolling. But Simcraft DIY Sim, come on board this year. Great group of guys, Matt. Those guys over there are awesome. Like I said, proud to be able to get them in top 5 and be able to mention them because it's an awesome group of guys, and we'll continue on. But yeah, everybody on the team and Infinite Creative Solutions. I got to throw their name out there. They painted my beautifully painted car there, and Dylan Duvall, he does good, and he had a little bit of bad luck tonight, but I think he salvaged the top 16 or so. But everybody else, and can't thank him enough, and you guys for doing the broadcasts. And iRacing and everybody who puts this series on and Peak. But that's it. Thank you, guys.
And that's Kenny Humpy coming home with position number 4, first top 5 finish of the season for the former NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series champion. 5th place belongs to Bobby Zielinski. Great run for the 83, and I believe Cam has caught up with our 5th place finisher this evening.
Yeah, Bobby Zielinski, he has been running pretty much up front all race long. Started in 4th position, that number 83 Ford Fusion. Bobby, just take me through your day here at Auto Club Speedway. There was a lot going on and a lot of different variables that you had to keep up on. Coming home in 5th, not a bad day.
Yeah, it was a really good day, really, and able to get some lap sled, extra point there. It was just a really fun race, moving around, finding, grip and changing lanes, and it was just a really, really fun race, and we were able to stay up front all day, and on that last little run there, we're able to go from 6th to 5th, get our first top 5, so it's awesome.
Now, this Auto Club Speedway, the track seemed to really evolve over the course of this race. It was a little cooler out, but at least I noticed a lot of people were sticking way down to the inside, at least I felt. And as the time went on, they all progressed really to kind of the middle, and some were even making the outside work. Do you feel the track trading off and switching like that, even with the older tires?
Yeah, for sure. I felt like the first few laps of the run, I'd stick to the bottom traditional line, but around 7-10 laps in, I'd start moving up and just trying to find speed. Drive off, really. That's what the key was for me, just finding drive off to get the speed down the straights. It was a really tough race because I was trying to run even higher. Car didn't turn enough for that, and always was looking around and seeing what other people were doing and seeing what they found and what lines they're beating everybody with. So yeah, that's one of the things. Part of Peak Antifreeze Series. Not only are you racing against the toughest competition, the tracks just are so much different than any other official race, where like every line really comes available and you just got to catch up on it. So it brings an extra challenge in there, and it makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah, speaking of that challenge, a lot of this race, when you were running in top 5, top 10, you had cars pretty much always on the inside, and sometimes even 3 wide. and you guys you had a couple of green flag pit stops, but you had a lot of cautions too. This race probably has to be one of the most full races that we've seen. We even had that the green-white checkered type restart at the very end. I mean, this pretty much checked all the boxes here.
Yeah, it certainly did. There's long runs. We had a 1-lap dash. It wasn't even a 1 lap. It was like a half-lap dash to the checkered, really, because of the caution. But then you had to make strategy call there at the end whether to pit or not. And I think if we stayed green, I don't know where Conti would have ended up, but that would have been interesting. But yeah, it had everything, really. You're right, man. It's a great race.
And tomorrow we're going to be getting a new build, going to be getting the new chassis. Then in 2 weeks we're going to be going over to Texas, and just between the new package and Texas, it looks like that one is going to really be a race to see who can come to grips with that new 2017 package first. You guys going to get ready for it fairly quickly?
Yeah, for sure. Tomorrow I'm gonna take a look at it. I'm gonna be a little torn with dirt, but we're gonna try to look at it some and try to just throw everything at it. This week we didn't practice as much, and we did just as good as last week, if not better a little bit. Just kind of saving our energy for this new build coming up. And Texas, yeah, I don't think anybody really knows how anybody's gonna be for that, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a good change and should be a lot of fun. As long as it doesn't ruin dynamic track, I'm happy.
Yeah, the Slip Angle Motorsports team, I'm sure, is going to be set to go. Anyone you would like to give a very quick shout-out to before we let you go for the night?
Yeah, for sure. Thank my sponsors, supports me so much. United Western Industries, New Age Metal Finishing, Elwood Designs for the awesome paint job, Virtual Racing School, and I want to thank my league I've ran for the last 2.5 years, Sim Racing Authority. I race guys like Marcus Richardson, Bordeaux, Clampett over there, and Kyle Putz. And I went from a 2,000 iRater, about 2 years ago, to now I'm in the Peak Antifreeze Series finishing top 5. So it's a pretty awesome league over there, and I can't thank those guys enough for just being good racers and have a good league to build up in. And obviously want to thank everyone at Slip Angle for all the help they always give and for getting me to the series and just getting good cars under us for every race, get top 5s.
Yeah, you keep putting together good efforts like this. We're going to be talking a lot more. So we wish to talk to you again real soon, Bobby. Thank you very much for hopping in the RaceSpotTV booth, and you have a good night.
Thank you.
And Andy, that's your top 5 finisher, the 83 car, Bobby Zelensky. And I have to say, that's going to be it from Auto Club. I have to say, what a fantastic race.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we kind of saw everything out of this one, Tim. We saw long green flag runs. We saw some green flag pit stops. We saw some short runs, even a little sprint there to the end with 2 laps to go. I mean, this was a pretty good race, and I guess kind of a close to a chapter, too, in iRacing for the 2016 package when we get the update tomorrow. So, a lot of things go into this race here, and it's going to be pretty interesting going forward as well.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple of green flag runs, one with a caution ending it in the first half of the race, the second half, seeing Alex Bergeron try to extend it and trying to get his caution flag, and it came a little bit late. It's just the way the racing goes here at Auto Club Speedway. Congratulations again to Ryan Lewis' second consecutive win. Logan Clampett was quick all night. Heartbreak for Michael Conti. Couldn't get back up after that late pit stop. You got some guys that are starting to make their move in the standings, and I think we'll see the same thing that we did last year. We'll start to see some drivers fall off in the next couple of races. Our next 3 races are Texas, Phoenix, and Richmond. There's 3 different racetracks there. So we'll see who can weather the beast the best. And oh, by the way, as you mentioned, that new rules package coming out tomorrow. But I'm excited for dirt. I can't wait to sling a little bit of mud around this the iRacing circuit. So it's going to be a fun couple of weeks until we talk with everybody again at Texas.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, Cam, we don't have to worry about figuring out a setup for these cars in Texas, so we get a little bit more dirt time, I think. That should be a lot of fun when that comes out tomorrow as well, too. Something I think a lot of iRacers have been waiting for a long, long time, and finally you can say the hashtag soon is over. It's tomorrow. So we look forward to that. Obviously, the new rules package. The guys got a lot of work to come up in the next couple of weeks before Texas, and like Tim just said, Texas, Phoenix, Richmond, I mean, that's 3 unique, different tracks. It's not, even with this new build coming out, maybe you hit something for a mile and a half. Well, it doesn't matter because you got to get back right to work for Phoenix and then to Richmond.
Yeah, pretty quick turnaround this first quarter of the season, and I gotta say, yeah, absolutely. It's been just about almost 15 years since the last real proper dirt oval simulator that's had a lot of mainstream, publishing and support, and I have to say, I am so very excited for it. Growing up here in dirt country, here in the Northeast, it's just part of the tradition here in Northeast running. We only really have one asphalt track that's local to me, whereas I've got probably 5 or 6 to choose from on a Friday or Saturday. For dirt, so I'm going to be very excited, and I know a lot of people are probably going to fire it up and hop right into the 410 sprint car, the wing sprint car, but I think I'm going to start a little safer. I'm probably going to jump into the 305.
Not a bad call at all, I'll tell you that. Start a little slower and work your way up. We'll see how that plays out. Of course, I suggest everybody waking up in the morning and doing the download early. It's going to be a wild afternoon and evening tomorrow night to try to get that all downloaded and get on the sim and give it a shot. It's going to be a pretty crazy night, and I'm sure all the people at iRacing are going to be up all night as well. But with all that, Auto Club is going to fall into our rearview mirror. We want to thank you all for watching this special presentation of RaceSpotTV, streaming live on iRacingLive, Facebook Live, Fans Choice TV, and the Motor Racing Network. For more information about the iRacing World Championship Series, please visit wcs.iracing.com. On behalf of everyone behind the scenes who make these broadcasts possible, for Istvan below and the cameras, Simon Grossman, Kevin Page and their team for the broadcast CG, Andrew Werner on the graphics, Will Vincent, Hugo Louise, and the entire team at RaceSpotTV. And of course, for the team topside tonight, for Cam Walsh, Tim Terry, and myself, Andy Kessler, we want to thank you all for joining us tonight and congratulate your winner tonight for the second week in a row. It's Ryan Luza. We'll see you all next time, 2 weeks' time, that is, April 11th from Fort Worth, Texas, the Texas Motor Speedway for round 4 of 16 of this, the 2017 NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, powered by iRacing. That race and every race can be found, as always, right here on iRacing.com/live. Until then, good night.